right. Here we go. Mornings with Matt and Bob, powered by Chewy. Yeah, I like it. Let's do today's starting lineup. You know the players taking the field on your behalf to make this wet Wednesday. Oh, I like that. Wet Wednesday. Kind of alliterates.
Ladies.
Hardest. Yeah. That's better than Moist Monday. Yeah. Or, anyway. He's the hardest working man in show business. And I think he's been down working out in the gym before the show today. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct.
I could tell. What'd you do? Hit the bags? Heavy bags? Get on the bike?
Shadow boxing.
Nice.
Boxing and then a little bag work.
Right on. Ladies and gentlemen, he's a heavyweight champ in every aspect of his life. That's right. He'll knock you out. Just pick a room in the house. He'll knock you out in it. In the kitchen, in the bedroom. Ladies and gentlemen. He's our producer. He's a food head. He's a shoe head. He drips every day. And I'm talking about the sweat from his brow, ladies and gentlemen. Takes your phone calls, keeps the levels right, scolds the interns, and then, ladies and gentlemen, puts the podcasts up. He does it all. The man from Thrall. Ladies and gentlemen, please, be so kind. Now it's wet out there, so keep your hands on the wheel. But all right, now clap.
Thank you.
Mr. Chewy Eldorado, ladies and gentlemen. All right.
Smoke weed every day.
Yeah, you and me both, man.
Oh.
The man to my, is that right? The man to my right, your left, ladies and gentlemen.
Stage left.
So people are looking this direction when they watch our show?
Yeah, you're in the right, because we're in stereo. You're in the left channel, but you're on my right side. I
always thought people watched from over there.
No.
So I'm not in the back? I always thought I was in the back.
Nope.
What do you know?
No, sir. He is, ladies and gentlemen, a former star of episodic television, a stand-up comedian. You know, I used to say former stand-up comedian. But now, in the last couple weeks, 2 shows in 2 weeks. Can we make it 3 shows in 3 weeks? Ladies and gentlemen, what can I say about this guy? Austin's greatest living storyteller. He keeps us in line, ladies and gentlemen. He's getting the nickname Sarge. Please say hello to our first sergeant. Ladies and gentlemen, our big thumb. Say hello to the marvelous Matt Bearden.
Yeah, big thumb. I like big thumb. I like big thumbs that I cannot lie. You other brothers can deny. Let me go ahead and give him the introduction. He's the one that started the introductions. He's been running the introductions for over 30 years right here on these very airwaves. But that's not the only thing he's ever done. He's worked for GSD&M. He's worked for the Frank Irwin Center. He's worked in television. He's worked in radio, advertising. Is there anything the man cannot do?
Sounds like I didn't know what I was doing.
Maybe some of you would say, well, I bet he can't announce, a sporting event. Well, you'd be ridiculous at that point because he's done boxing. He's done
rugby,
professional rugby. He's done
professional ice hockey.
My goodness. But you know what he does the best? He friends. That's right. No. He friends. He looks after you. He asks you questions. He makes sure that you're okay. And he does the same thing for you every single day. As you wake up and drive your way to work, he says to you, in his own special way, "You okay? You need anything? I got something for you." He's the progenitor of the Bob Fonseca's Rock and Roll News. Do me a favor. It's the Bob Father himself. Put your hands together for Mr. Texas Radio Hall of Fame, Bob Fonseca.
Thank you very much, Matt. Oh, man. We had fun yesterday. We had a full day yesterday. Did a TV interview. That's for fun, though, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't think they're going to air that on KLRU or whatever. But we helped someone with a project yesterday. And we did a little interview.
Our former intern, Hoops.
Yeah, Hoops did a little.
We always help the youth.
Interview. Yeah, we do. We'll help your kids too. We'll give them an internship. We'll do interviews for them. We'll do their school project. We'll do their homework.
You tell us what they need, and we'll do it for them.
We'll do it for them.
Sure.
Was that dump on?
Yeah, you dumped 15 seconds.
I got to ask you. I got to ask you if I should ask you in the future.
Now, wait a minute, Bob. Can I ask you a question real quickly?
Yeah. Because I don't have any kind of indication here whether it's on or not.
If you hit it, it goes.
Yeah.
And I got to ask you real quick because this is you already came in here with burden on your shoulders. Yeah. I'm not adding to that burden. I
Sounds
literally
like you are.
I'm really going to ask you just a general question.
Yeah.
Do you know how the dump works?
Yeah, I do.
Because it's 3 seconds every time you hit it.
Yeah. No. The first time turns it on. I wanted to make sure it turned on.
No, here's the thing.
First time turns it on.
That's why I thought maybe.
Well, I don't have any screen here.
That's why I understand.
How do we know?
I have
over on this. You have it.
The timer, yeah.
But if I want to drop an F-bomb.
Right, you can do it.
But I don't know for sure, 100% sure, because I can't see what he's seeing.
No. Let me show you.
Every morning I check and make sure there are 30 seconds there.
Yeah, it's part of his job. And
can I get a mirror or something that reflects?
But here's the thing you have to remember. If you hit it once and somehow you missed it, Chewy would say, "Oh, you missed it," and he would hit the dump over there.
And you would see me go, "Oh."
No, because what if he wanted to, what if he was like, you know what? I think his time has come. I'm just going to let it fly.
No, because then my time would come.
No.
And I can't have you take me down with you.
No, I know it's 3 seconds every time. I don't think anything really was, that important back there. I don't know what was lost.
I'm just saying, but when you strip 15 seconds out of the show.
I did it 3 times. It was only 9 seconds, I think.
It was 15.
Was it?
I saw it said 15 left.
Well, better safe than sorry when you're...
But for a fleeting S-bomb...
Yeah.
Look, I'm going to show you. Look, I'm going to say something and I'm going to dump it out, okay?
Right.
Are you sure? This is a dangerous game we play.
It's not. It's not a
dangerous game.
And let me show you how 3 seconds is longer than you think.
But did anyone die, though, Matt? I mean, honestly.
No, nobody would have died.
Because I cut 15 lousy seconds off the show.
Can I say that if you had even if you hadn't cut out a fleeting S-bomb, nobody would have died. Right. That's the thing, is that the community should grow up and we shouldn't have to dump that.
That was like full volume.
You said, let's talk about y'all's evenings last night, because my evening was S.
Right.
But you can also just count. You don't have to panic and run over there. Look, are you ready? Watch this.
Yep. Don't dump it.
And I'm gonna count out. I'm gonna count up to 3 seconds and show you how long you can go before you even have to hit the dump.
Okay,
ready?
Go ahead. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
See, right there.
What can I do? Mississippi's? Can I do Mississippi's?
What do you mean? So nobody heard what I said.
I've never heard Ogallala, Waterford. What?
He wasn't counting. That was just an example of a bad word, wasn't it?
Well, it's not. It's not a
I
bad
thought that
word.
was the timing. I thought that phrase was 3 seconds.
No, I was showing you that I was going to dump out what I was going to say. Now the people out there were going to think that I said an F-bomb, but you ruined the magic by telling them that I said Ogallala Aquifer.
All right, let me say. All right. Keebler Elves, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi.
Just went by.
Yeah, you didn't dump.
It deletes
Keebler Elves.
seconds.
It only did. You counted out 4 seconds after what you said.
I'm confused.
Yeah, you are.
I feel like I'm in the time tunnel.
Do you feel any better about your night last night?
No,
now?
not at all.
Even going through this ridiculous exercise?
No, not at all. I thought about jumping. I got in my car this morning, and I got to a part in the road out there, somewhere around 360, and I went,
It's a beautiful country.
I could go north on 360 and go to Canada, or I could go south on 360 and go to Mexico and beyond.
I'm sorry to ruin your plans, but you're going to have to make some turns.
No, I know.
Because
it was more of a
yeah, because 360 dead it.
It was more of a symbolic. Okay. It would have been more of a symbolic gesture.
Okay, I feel better then, because
and it was like
technically 360.
I was like, should I go to Canada? Where would my prospects be?
Honestly,
I feel safer in Canada because I've been there more. But then I thought, let me just go south. And then maybe end up in Bolivia like Butch and Sundance or something like that.
If you had said I can go north and go to Mighty Fine, or I can go south and go to Serrano's, I'd have been like, yeah, those are your options.
And then maybe in 3 or 4 months notify my family.
Okay.
And just say, hey,
all's good in the hood.
Yeah. Really thought about it.
I'd do it.
I really thought about it.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah.
Do you have the summertime blues early this year?
No, it's just
I say, look, and
apparently
this is
I
good
did a
timing,
horrible job of parenting.
because in
apparently. I
2
don't know.
months I need a roommate, and
Yeah, I don't know
so
if that's going to work for me.
we can do kind of a loft thing.
No. He was hoping to get your wife to move in with him.
Oh. Yeah. All right. Enough of that.
Or I can take
that's
one
all.
of your
That's all I'm going to
sons
say.
under
Enough
my
of the
wing.
ABCs of me. We'll get through the day.
You need us to go rough up your sons?
No. They're
Like,
fine.
what if we kidnapped them, put them in the back of a van, and we did play one of those scared straight kind of things?
It's enough of that. They're fine.
Oh, look, he's retreating.
Yeah. Hey, how about those Bears, huh?
Wow.
Huh?
Wow.
That those Bears.
Folks,
kind of
Did you
Bears?
see that game last night?
Folks, that is a guy who is ignoring
Man, that was something
what's
else.
going
That
on
was
in his
that was a
brain.
barn burner.
And
man.
I got to tell you
like,
what, so many of us
that was a
know that
barn.
one.
That was a barn burner last night, wasn't it?
There's a guy who is avoiding what's going on, and I've been there. You've been there. Bob, did that song help you any?
Oh, what a beautiful voice. She's like a songbird, you know?
Right.
Like on your windowsill in the morning, you know?
I was trying to like give you like a way to
oh,
ease
my
into the
goodness.
day after
Stevie Nicks.
You know.
you know,
Stevie
nobody
Nicks.
likes having a rough night. It's not nice, man.
If only I could snort cocaine that way.
You can. I'll get you some.
Can I? Right.
What out of Stevie Nicks? Let's get back to what we've been talking about all week, which are embarrassing ways to die. In fact, 10 deaths too embarrassing to even be believed. What are you laughing at?
Nothing.
We're going to add yours? Are we getting ready to add yours?
The upbeat. I know. Go ahead.
Let's see. Did we talk about Toronto lawyer Gary Hoy, who went out his own window? We
Yes,
did.
because I said something about Gary Hoey,
Yeah.
who I know is a fabulous guitar player.
And yesterday we talked about the guy who was dared to swallow a live fish and then choked on it and
Yes,
died, right?
that was funny.
Yeah, we did not get to this one. Outside of Canada, Canada, beautiful country, right?
Isn't it?
Love
this time
it.
of year?
Oh, the
my
poutine is so
goodness.
fresh.
They speak French up there in part of it.
They do.
In Montreal.
And they speak Quebecois.
Yes.
Quebecois, which is their own version of
Quebecian, yeah.
They don't call it Quebecian, though. They
I
call
know.
it Quebecois. Bonjour, Quebecois.
I know a guy up there named Jean-Paul.
Ugh, get away from me.
Really? It's
Yeah.
beautiful, dude. I highly recommend you visit if you have the means.
You know what? I should have made that turn.
You should have taken 360 all the way to Montreal. Let's get into it. Outside of Canada and some very well-forested area, there's some very well-forested northern states and countries up there. A lot of people have never seen a beaver in person.
No way you got to do that to Alex when he's not here.
Hey. They have a reputation for being industrious. And even at a young age, they get up and they go to work every single morning.
Yeah.
Did
That
you
was
hit
a
it?
good one.
Did you get the dump? Did you
I
get
hit
the
it.
dump?
Yeah, you got it.
You got it right. See
I've
what you just
dumped
did?
more today than I've dumped.
And
Yeah,
you
but
get
you
it
see
good
it? Years.
because you still get the joke because I think you still got the unlike, and then people
Yeah.
filled in the blank with
hard
what
to
So
tell.
you did yourself a really good job right there. That was a really
technically
good
got a
dump
joke.
the way you
Still
did
felt
that.
nervous.
But no, you didn't. It was so good what you did. I'm really proud of you. Right? Hey, look at me. Good job, bub.
Thank you. Wish I could say that.
I think that's it. You count to 2 and then hit it.
Yeah, Daddy, proud of you. Okay.
And on the third beat,
Yeah,
boom.
I do it
Great
immediately
I
just
feel like
because
an
I want it
intern
all.
right now.
great job, dude. Great
Right.
job.
Go ahead. Click, click,
Anyway,
boom.
Beavers have a reputation for being industrious. They get up every morning. They go to work.
Mm-hmm.
There's no but I want to do the things that I love. They do the things they have to do.
No video games for those guys.
They don't. They don't sit around playing video
No
games.
smoking pot for those
How
beavers.
do they carry the logs? I've never even they swim on their back and carry the logs on their belly or something.
No, they hold them with their teeth and they pull them kind of to the side like this.
Man, that's amazing.
I know. It's amazing what they do.
They can build dams.
It's not
Yeah.
logs. It's like just a bunch of little branches and sticks, right?
I don't know. In the cartoons, of course, that's not real life, but I felt like in the cartoons there was
There's probably some beavers that take pride in their dams.
I guess it depends on how fast the water's going.
Now, a beaver's pretty big. You know, they can grow up to 3 feet in length and as much as 65 pounds. They can. A
Damn.
beaver can grow to the size of like a smaller pit bull. But you think of a beaver as being tiny,
Yeah.
tiny, cuddly,
Right.
Yeah.
And that can be dangerous for people to think of beaver as being cute and cuddly.
We want to pet them.
Because here's the thing. Sometimes you come across a beaver, and they've been up all night arguing with their wife beaver inside the little underwater hut they have. Because some of the beavers, they don't want to get up in the morning and cut down the trees. They want to keep playing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why do they build dams
They want
anyway?
to do just enough to get by. And the dad beaver's like, hey, we've got to do something about these 3 beavers, or they are going to freeze to death next year. And Mama Beaver says, they will be fine. You need to calm down and cool your jets. It makes one of the beavers kind of cranky.
Why do they build dams?
I think it's their home. I think they build a home around there, and they need the water to stop or
Is it
slow
to
down.
cross the river, maybe?
I don't know.
I don't
Something
know
to do with
either.
that.
A man in Belarus figured he'd take a photo of a beaver. He saw one on the side of the road. He was adorable. He asked his friends who were in the car, please stop. He got out with his camera, and he approached the rodent, and he bent down to take the picture, and that's when the beaver attacked him.
No.
Yeah, attacked him. They can attack.
They can kill?
Yeah,
Here's the thing. They have those giant, powerful, sharp teeth, right, that are designed to cut all the way through a tree. And I don't know if you've ever noticed this, but your skin is not quite as tough
as bark
or as a tree is. The beaver's teeth went right through the guy's femoral artery, and he bled out on the side of the road, and he died right there.
Man. Damn.
Can I say this right there?
Yeah.
It's not the first time a man has essentially lost everything to a beaver.
Damn.
You can get it one more time. Damn.
Do they have a paddle tail?
They do. It's kind of a fun, leathery feeling. And it's
And what-
filled, it's filled with fat? The whole tail is just filled with fat.
No way. Can
Yeah.
you eat them? They're delicious, right?
Yeah, you
what-
never had beaver tail at a...
I've had beaver
Oh,
nuggets.
my God.
Yeah.
You get that with some, like a blooming onion?
You know, like some people get surf and turf?
Yeah.
You get beaver and tail. That's a full meal deal right there. And the kids today, they eat both.
I'd try beaver.
Ladies?
Is a platypus in the same family, by the way?
They have a stinger. Like in Roadhouse with the knife boot?
No, they have
Yeah.
like a duck
That's
bill,
exactly
don't they?
what
They do.
They have a duck bill and they have a
beaver
paddle.
tail.
Beaver.
But they also have a little they have a little stinger claw inside their
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and they can kill you. And then they're actually marsupials because they got a little pouch. They're an odd animal that the universe forgot.
Yeah.
They're not supposed to actually be here.
They're like
Somebody
in the
made
middle
out-
of evolving.
A beaver made out with a duck and a lizard or something, and then I don't know how it all...
I would have loved to watch that. I would have watched that on OnlyFans for sure. I would have bought that. $5.99? Yeah.
What do you think? What 2 animals do you think mated? To a kangaroo and a beaver? What
For the platypus?
For the platypus.
That's
No.
a duck and a beaver. Or
That's what I think. How did
or
you
an
get the
otter.
duck?
No.
No, I think look.
I'm sorry, I'm distracting you.
No,
I'm
think
having a lot of weird thoughts this morning.
Here's
Like,
what I think.
I'm thinking
if you
Mexico.
ever looked at a possum and how they seem kind of cute, but when they look at you, they've got that long snout with those pointy teeth.
Yeah.
Adorable.
I think that a possum went to a surgeon and said, "I'm very uncomfortable about my look."
Mm-hmm.
And they just stuck that beaver. I mean, they just stuck that duck bill on them to cover up. I think it's just it's a possum in this. I'll tell you what it is.
What is it?
It's a drag possum, and we got to do something
Reading
about
to
them.
my kids?
I don't need no drag possum reading to my kids and trying to make my
Trying
kids
to get into my restroom.
Teaching them
I don't
CRT.
need my kids being no trans possum. And scene.
Why can't they? I mean, I don't know. Some of the cutest animals are the dangerous.
Yeah, that's how they. It's exactly how they fool you. That's why they say Satan will never come in the form of Satan. He'll trick you. It'll be an insurance
It'll come
salesman.
in, or
you know what I
cereal
mean?
or something. Yeah.
Yeah,
He will come in the form of Satin.
because that would be obvious, right? You'd be like, "Whoa!"
I like this guy.
Sometimes
and
it comes in the form
the
of a
whole
woman.
time it's
Oh.
Satan.
Yeah.
Whole time.
Anyway, I think that's how the cute,
What a trickster.
that's how the cute animals trick you, right?
Uh huh.
Yeah, essentially. That's going to be today's Click.
That was a good
Click,
one.
boom. I'm sorry we only got to one, but we've got plenty more for the rest of the week. And then, well, Bobby, we'll need a little something, a little
I got
action
it right
from
in
you.
front of me here.
Hot action from you. Since we've been doing some cursing this morning, you guys want a quick...
Oh, it's not done, by the way.
You guys want a quick history of the F word?
I've always wondered. I think if I didn't even know... Let's say I was a little kid, right?
Right.
I was once. Let's say I didn't even know what the F
You'd
word
never
was.
heard
I'd
it.
never heard it.
It would come
and
out of your
I decided to build a treehouse.
Feels so good.
And I had a hammer and nails. And I was like 5 years old, and I missed the nail and hit my thumb with the hammer. I'm pretty sure that's the word that would come out instinctively.
And I don't understand...
Having never heard it.
Why, as a society, we haven't grown up and matured
And
enough.
just go, it's just 4 letters, like any other word.
It's a sound that you're making. This thing about those dirty words is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And you know who? We cater to the mentally ill when we cater to people who go, ooh, you said... It's like the same as if somebody... It's like if your son got sent home from school because they stepped on a crack in the sidewalk, and they said, well, that could break somebody's mother's back. So he's been put in suspension or he's been written up. That's how stupid that is. Because when you say and utter a word, there's no difference between this word, and this word.
They're both 4 letters. They're both 4 letters, for one thing.
It's an utterance. Back in 1528, a monk scribbled down, "Oh, damned effing abbot" in a book. But he didn't write effing. He wrote the word.
Wait a minute. A man of the cloth?
Right. Well, even they lose their temperature. Everybody hurts.
So how did he figure it out? How did he come up with those combinations?
Hang on.
Oh, okay.
Hang on. Guys, if I say, do you want a brief history? Generally, history isn't half of a sentence.
You said brief.
Basically, the 16th century version of a subtweet of what was going on, right? He was writing that down in a book, and it had to do with somebody else. Saying damned was actually the horrific part of what he wrote. Because saying damned was so much worse.
Like, one of the worst things you can say in England is bloody.
Right.
That doesn't make any sense.
The F
Here,
word...
you can say it all day long.
F word is just seasoning, right? But where did it come from? Linguist John McWhorter says he isn't exactly sure. They've been looking through Old English, and they've been looking for Viking hand-me-downs. The origin of the F word is blurry, foggy, hazy at best, but there are some areas that point us in the right direction. For centuries, dictionaries treated the F word like a weird uncle nobody talks about. It finally got its dictionary debut in, are you ready? Do you want to know when the F word finally got into the dictionary?
Was it Webster or was it the other one?
When do you think it was? When did it finally go into a dictionary?
1938.
Not bad guess. Not bad guess. Bob?
1929.
No. A little way later than that. 1966. 1966, the first time it appeared.
I know every time when I was a kid, every time you get a dictionary, you would look for the dirty words. You go to the library. That's how you killed your time before you had a cell phone.
I have a serious, stupid question. The English, I guess, whenever, like, say, someone gets cut and you bleed on a blanket,
right?
Is that blanket full of blood? Is it what you can't call it a bloody?
It's a bloody blanket.
But that's a curse word there.
Well, it's a blood-stained blanket.
Like the F word doesn't have another function. Bloody.
Here's why the F word is so good. I can say it. I can conjugate it. I can do it in the past tense, the present tense. And the tone I use with it changes the meaning of the word. And you could almost use just one word your entire life and get everything you need.
But all of them are bad. F you. Let's F.
Look at this.
F this.
I'll take the F in steak and eggs.
Get the F out of here. He didn't even bring an F in.
I forgot my forgot my computer at home. F.
Oh.
Sometimes it's just exasperation.
This burger's so effing good.
My kids have talked to me before about the F word, and I've told them, and this is how I parent. I say, you are allowed to use any words you want at any time. You need to be aware of your surroundings and the consequences of that word in those surroundings.
Oh, you wanted to check for one of me before the joke? Is that what you're teaching them?
Oh, it took me a while to get there and understand. I was like, what is it? What do you have to do with the F word?
No, when to use words.
Yeah. Well, no, that's what I've said. Look, hey, if you go to school, you have to suffer the consequences that your school will lay out for you. You won't get in extra trouble when you come home. I'm not gonna be like, oh, I can't believe you said a word. Like, I just think it's hokum. Effing hokum. I said, but you'll have to deal with whatever the punishment is that they'll dole out. Also, remember, it will change the way people think about you.
That's some good parenting.
Whenever you see like an 11-year-old dropping a bunch of F-bombs, you sometimes make an assumption about that child. It's not always polite in thinking, oh, they're going to rule the world one day. And I just said, hey, that's how some people will look at you. My son has no desire to curse. I've never heard him curse or even come close to it. He won't even say words that seem... He gets very embarrassed.
If you're using them right, or even in a funny manner, that's when I don't mind.
I don't mind at all.
Some people don't know when and how to use it, and it's excessive.
I just told the story, didn't I, about my daughter using the F word to me one time, and I gave her a pass because it was so good?
I think I do remember something like that, yeah.
At the Renaissance Festival.
Yeah, that's right.
The bird guy. And she goes, I just feel so bad for these birds. And I thought she meant because they lived in captivity or whatever instead of being wild. And I said, well, they get fed every day. She goes, no. They have to live with such an effing loser.
I think children cursing is the funniest thing in the world. I think it's
the best.
When I hear them on Xbox or like on the gaming thing, and then, there's like some random kid, but then he's just saying a bunch of nonsense and cursing. I love it. Makes me feel like the world is still right.
It's good to encourage that, isn't it? It's good to encourage the cursing children. Well, there we go. There really is no background. We don't know where it came from.
I think I invented it.
We do know that it was popularized in a book called Lady Chatterley's Lover, which blew up. Everybody was buying it because it was the dirty smut of the time. People couldn't believe it had been published. They went nuts for it. And it had curse words in it. It had descriptions of sex.
Mm-hmm. Who wrote that anyway?
Jean-B Bombavier.
Oh. Is that right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's who wrote it.
What about the Canterbury Tales? I thought that was pretty good, too.
Also by Jean-T. That was Chaucer.
Chaucer. That was pretty saucy, wasn't it?
It was, but it's written in Old English, so it's not as much fun when you're a kid because you're like, I don't get the sauce here.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't say...
You got to read between.
It doesn't say he held her down and railed through with back shots till she... came like Niagara. You know what I mean? It doesn't say any of that. It's like, and Twithy be the ruts of the forest, the pig and poke. And you're like, what? And someone's like, well, they're saying that they had sex. And you're like, well, then say it.
Because I didn't even get...
I didn't understand what the hell was happening. Well, come on. Chaucer?
He ain't talking about love.
He ain't. I love when we transition from what we're talking about into a song. If you should always pay attention. Like, most platter jocks don't do the job that we do. We're so good at what we do.
Have we gone a little too far with festivals?
I report the news. That's what I do.
It's Bob Fonseca's Rock and Roll News.
All right, it's Wednesday. Finally some headlines to report. The rock and roll news midweek. Rock stars are out there. They're touring. They're doing their rock star things. Taking drugs. Writing songs. Tuning their guitars. Except some of the more fancy guitar players. They got guys that tune them for them. Did you know that?
That's nice.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're out there doing it to it. Everybody from Gene Simmons to, well, we got a lot of news. A lot of news to cover and a really banging rock and roll news junior coming your way. Maybe a shout out. I'm Bob's Rock Last reporter. And wait, what's my slogan?
If you bring a deal, I can beat it.
No.
Love it. Love that one.
If you got a nickel, I got a pickle. No, I'm Rock's last great reporter. That's what I meant to say, and I've got all the headlines for you, so don't go anywhere. Different kind of open today, different kind of billboard. Have festivals gone too far? It feels like every city in America, not even every big city, but every like mid-size township, whatever,
Has at least
a
3 or
music
4.
festival now.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the big thing happening right now.
You ever?
Conroe, Texas has one.
Yeah. I don't know how I feel about it. Are there enough bands to go around?
I don't. I think we may meet mass saturation here very quickly.
Did you know that there's a field and stream music festival?
I didn't know that, but I like it. I like the idea of
There is,
it.
Matt. Leonard Skinner has been added to the inaugural Field and Stream Music Fest this fall. The event takes place in October, 4th through 6th to be exact, in Winboro, South Carolina. And will feature more than 30 artists across 2 stages. Now, here's what got my attention. I mean, Leonard Skinner, I'm not sure. Was there one original member now? Mm-hmm. Maybe?
Maybe.
Or the brother of an original member?
Possibly.
I think. But Lainey Wilson will be there. Eric Church! I love me some Eric Church. You ever heard that song, Talladega?
I can't say
That's
I
a
have.
banger. Huh?
I can't say I have.
You never
Bob.
heard Talladega?
No. Have you heard
What
Talladega?
about
No, I haven't.
Drink in My Hand?
Yeah, that
Well,
one I've heard.
let me do the whole litany of Eric Church hits.
I think you just
ever
did.
heard Mr. Misunderstood? That's a good one. You ever heard Record Year? That's my favorite. Springsteen was my favorite, but Record Year is a really good song. It's about a guy that breaks up with his woman, and then he spends the next 6 months just in his bedroom playing records.
How do you think about that?
And he's
How do you
having a
think-
record, but he's having his best life. You get it? Record year. He's having a record year, but he's playing records.
It's
Okay.
crazy
But he's
what
having a record year because all his dreams are
'Cause he's-
coming true because
right.
he's finally free. Oh, that feeling. I can't even imagine it.
That's wild how he can think of things like that.
Yeah. Anyway, that's going on in, where is this? Did I say? Oh, yeah, Winnsboro, South Carolina. There you go. So, we don't have a music fest, do we?
We got 8 of them.
No, I mean the show.
Oh, we should.
We should.
Yeah, let's call it. But let's have a music fest, but let's have it at 6 a.m. That'll be our thing. It'll be called Morning Fest.
Oh.
Deep Purple has announced a new album. Now, listen, I don't think there's any way they're going to top Fireball or Smoke on the Water.
You don't?
Fireball was my gateway to Deep Purple back in the day when I was in high school. And then I was like, well, that's pretty good. No, Matt.
No, that's not it.
That's not the one?
Is it a different one than
And
that
I was
one?
like, oh, man, I don't think there could be a better album than Deep Purple Fireball. And then Deep Purple came out with Machine Head. Do you know what the
Oh, yeah.
reference is, Chewy?
Iron Man.
Where's the name Machine Head come from? I'm trying to teach you about rock and roll.
Machine Head. Alice Cooper looks like his head's a machine.
No, come on, for real, dude. This
Yeah.
isn't a bit.
Yeah,
Okay,
stop
all
being
right.
that way, dude.
Okay, let me
Stop
try
being
to
a
think.
jerk.
It's right on the cover. I mean, you can
Come on,
you
dude.
can get it right on the
It's
cover.
right there on the cover. Machine Head.
There was a robot or something that MIT
You're
maybe
thinking,
made.
you're thinking way too hard. So break it down to the very simple. What do you have to do when you have a guitar? Or a bass in this case?
So you have to tune it?
In this case, it's a bass.
You tune it.
Right. And what do you tune it with?
A key? The tuning key?
It's the machine head. The machine, the head of the thing, the machine head. The head of the tuning knob.
How did they think of this stuff?
They shot the album cover like in a reflection of the tuning head.
Yeah, idiot.
And
You
that's
don't know
some-
that?
They
and that's
shot
a
it in
machine head?
reflection of the tuning head.
You never seen the album cover?
No.
Do you even own Machine Head?
No.
It's like the best album of all time.
What would you rather do, own Machine Head or get Machine Head?
If Elon has his way, we'll all be getting Machine
Give me
Head.
back my bullets.
Anyway, what was I? Where was I? Oh, Deep Purple. Let's investigate this further. Deep Purple is sharing out details of their upcoming album, their studio album. It's going to be called Equal One. I don't know what that means. It's an equal sign and the number 1. And it will be out July 19th. What are you laughing at?
They're always hard to decipher. They're always got some.
It also marks the band's first full-length release since 2021. When they dropped the Covers album, that's always a... The Covers album is always... All right, kids, this is... I know
All
we're
right,
not in
kids.
Rock and Roll News Junior yet, but This is a little lesson for you. Live albums and cover albums are usually the final album in a contract. Your record label says it's time to break up, but you owe them one more release. So you don't want to burn a bunch of your good material. You got to save that for the next label, right?
Right.
So what you do is like, we're going to do a covers record.
Okay. Or if I could,
Yes.
guys, if you don't feel like making covers, how about a Christmas album?
Christmas. Very good. Nicely done. 3 points for Matt.
Yeah. That time you
What are my
wondered.
points? How many do I
That
have?
time you wondered why a band that you love made a Christmas album. That's why they
Yeah.
needed to fulfill a contract.
So there you go, kids. A little rock and roll lesson for you. I don't want to shatter your illusions too bad about rock and roll, but
Shatter.
why would you give the label that's breaking up with you good new material, right?
Right.
When you could save it for your new label. Hopefully you've got one,
Going independent, hopefully.
right? Hopefully you're going indie. All right, so we look forward to that, maybe, I think. Let's see what else is going on here. Eddie Vedder is sad.
Oh,
I'm tired of big stars making millions of dollars that are sad, but he's sad that his Pearl Jam tour is going to conflict with his watching of the World Series in October or November or December, whatever baseball World
It's
Series.
not
is.
1980 anymore. We have the technology for you to watch every
Can't
single
you just
game.
watch it in your bus after you get off the...
You could literally put a TV on stage, and I don't think the audience would care, and just play the song.
Well, apparently Eddie Vedder is a
At
Cubs
ACL, they literally play the Texas OU game on the screen while bands are playing. They could just do that.
Yeah.
Watch them both.
What's Eddie's deal? Does he not know about 2024?
Why doesn't Eddie do what everybody in the audience does and watch his phone during the concert?
Can he perform with those Apple goggles on?
There you go. You have a solution.
And watch the game while he's singing? He must know these songs by heart. You know?
Oh, we got some good tech yourself later.
Anyway,
get
Cubs superfan Eddie Vedder will have a scheduling conflict if his team... Oh, okay, so this is just a fantasy story then. As if the Cubs are going to...
Oh, is that what he's...
Listen, I got Cubs hats, and I think the Cubbies are cute and all that, but I don't think they're headed to the World Series anytime soon, are they?
3 and 2 count. Here comes the wind-up.
Anyway.
Probably Slider.
The month of-
Maybe a knuckleball.
The month of the World Series is going to start, is going to be the beginning of the South American leg of his tour. So, anyway, I don't think he's going to have to worry too much.
You know who I think will have to worry? His press agent,
Yeah.
who could only come up with this story this week. They're launching a tour, and the press agent couldn't come up with a better story.
Yeah.
Like push
Boy,
your
we're
client
really-
down the stairs or something.
I feel like this is the end of the Wizard of Oz. We're really pulling the curtain back for
Yeah.
everybody here about rock and roll.
That's the way it works, you know.
Bob,
When
I
you
thought
see
it
a
was all
story-
spontaneous and fun.
No, Bob. Here's the thing: your press agent
You got
actually
press
probably
agent,
has.
you got an agent.
They have
you
an
got a
Excel
publicist,
spreadsheet, and they know exactly the stories they're going to
got
push
a
out
tour
months
manager or
in
a road
advance.
manager. Oh my god!
And they keep their fingers crossed that you will have an affair because that makes their job much easier.
Well, Gene Simmons rested for about a month post Kiss. Well, I don't want to say Kiss breakup. I'm not sure what it was. But
Well, they said they were done touring and playing and recording.
he played his first solo show. This guy does not to be. You know what?
What?
You would
What?
think he'd want to hang out at home with Shannon Tweed all day and all night.
No.
But no, he's got to be on the road. Gene Simmons Band opened the latest Rock and Brews venue. That's owned by Kiss, right?
I believe so.
I think so. In Ridgefield, Washington last night with an 18-song set. So I guess he's playing restaurants now. This is his first appearance on stage since the band played their farewell show in December.
His
His latest lineup features Brent Woods, who played with Sebastian Bach and Vince Neil, Zach Throne, who played with some people I don't even recognize, and drummer Brian Tichy of Whitesnake and sometimes Foreigner.
How do you think he's going to feel? Because is he prepared for the drop off that he's going to see in ticket sales?
Yeah, but he gets a free burger and fries.
Oh, okay.
At the end of the show.
2 drink tickets?
2 drink tickets and burger and fries. One of the highlights of the show, if I could call it that, is he covered Led Zeppelin's Communication Breakdown. He probably did that song because it's really short.
Also, I think he's trying to send a secret message as to why Kiss is broken up.
Anyway.
How old is he now? He's in his 70s, right?
Say here.
He's in his 70s, Gene Simmons. 70s.
I think he got he scrubbed his age from the internet. He hired the same people that Taylor Swift is using right now to cover up some of the backlash.
74 years old.
There you go. Thank you for that, Chewy. Appreciate the input there. Let's see what else I have before I jet on over to Rock and Roll News Junior. Jeff Downs is reviving Asia. Did you like Asia? Heat of the moment. Cool album covers, Roger Dean album covers all the way.
Yeah, I mean, look,
they were kind of Yes light.
Fine
they had
with
members
it.
of Yes, members of what? King Crimson, maybe.
I'm not clamoring for the newly formed Asia revival. I'll tell you that.
Oh, come on, man!
Come on, man!
Come on!
Come on, man!
Jeff Downs is reforming Asia.
Oh wait, did they do Eye in the Sky?
No, that's Alan Parsons' project. Come on,
okay.
Off of the album Eye in the Sky. Though my favorite album is I, Robot from the album. I have like 9 different copies of that. Yeah, they did that one.
A little bit I don't want to lose your love tonight.
Oh, look at this. Also on the multi-act bill are Martin Turner of Wishbone Ash.
Oh, yes.
Focus. You remember Focus? Hocus Pocus?
They were the ones that played... how does it go? Like, sing it with me. Like, bands, when the band is warming up before a musical or something, they love to play that one because they get to get groovy. And Roger Dean, the artist who did the album covers for Yes and for a bunch of people, and Badger and Budgie and all those guys, and also did the great covers for Asia. He's going to MC. He's going out on the road. Okay, because to me that's more interesting than
stuff.
Asia is all the Budgie and the Hocus Pocus and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyway, they're going out. Catch them at a hamburger joint near you. Paul McCartney and Wings have announced a new album, One Hand Clapping, live studio sessions from 1974 around their Band on the Run era and Speed of Life era. This could be interesting. I don't know. It could be a money grab. I'm not sure yet. I'm gonna save my comments until I learn a little bit more about this. You know, I'm a big Wings fan.
Yeah, and you don't want to get sued.
I'm not too worried about that.
Well, you don't want to have comments before, because then they could come after you and say, "Hey, we want you to shut up because you're gonna hurt sales."
Here's a very interesting story about a guy that I don't know if he's going to be in the Rock Hall of Fame, but the name I'm not really familiar with, but he plays into the whole Rock and Roll Hall of Fame thing that's going on this week.
Hermeto Pasquale?
Rick Wills is a bass player. Anybody want to try to connect the dots on this one?
He's a bass player who played on a Foreigner album.
Well, you know what, Matt? I'm going to give you half a point there. Now we got to connect the dot. Where are we connecting it? Chewy, it's your turn.
Oh, he played an album with Foreigner.
This is too stressful for you, isn't it?
And I don't know who
I feel like the Rock and Roll News is too stressful for you.
It really is. I need
I feel like I'm pointing out the shortcomings in your rock and roll.
Wait, let me guess this. Did he play with both Foreigner and Peter Frampton, who both were recently...
you are wise beyond... Not only are you a prince among men, you are wise beyond your years. Because check this story out. Rick Wills, a name you may not have heard of. A bass player, rock and roll bass player. Much like my friend Ricky Phillips of Styx, formerly of Styx, who I'm playing golf with on Sunday. He co-wrote Do You Feel Like We Do with Peter Frampton.
Okay.
Earned a whopping $35,000 stipend for that.
Okay, that's it. Oh, he sold off his songwriting?
Right.
Oof.
Right. He just got I think he got paid a flat fee.
Not good. Not
or maybe
smart,
that's
bro.
cumulative. I don't know.
No, cumulative.
So
would've been
he
much more.
co-wrote Peter Frampton's one of his biggest hits, Do You Feel Like We Do? And then later, thanks to that, was handed a job with Foreigner, which he held for many, many years. So Wills appeared on Frampton's Wind of Change, Frampton's Camel, Something's Happening. He co-wrote the concert favorite Doobie Wah. I wonder what that's about. And he had short stints in Roxy Music and as a fill-in for Ronnie Lane, a former Austin resident and member of the Faces, right?
Hey, Ronnie.
Right.
Faces or Small Faces? I can never remember.
He was Faces.
2 members of Faces lived here in Austin.
Right.
Ian McLaren. And I love saying that name. Say it with me.
Ian McLaren.
Ian McLaren, who's done this show,
Right.
and Ronnie Lane, who we also interviewed one morning back. I can't believe I met Ronnie Lane. That seems like unreal, right? Anyway, he did the show one morning, and he was a fill-in for Ronnie Lane in the reformed edition of the Small Faces. So I don't know if he'll be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Maybe he'll go in with Foreigner. I'm not sure. Only time will tell. It's time for Rock and Roll News Jr. And guess what? Guess what? It's not Taylor Swift this morning. Thank goodness. Rock and Roll News Jr., the headlines for the kids on the way to the dropout zone right now, safely strapped into Mom's Toyota Camry Hybrid. Not exactly a minivan. It's a very smart sedan. They're on the way to the dropout zone right now to kind of, is today hump day? Yeah. Midweek. They're on the downslide, kids. After lunch, you'll be on the downslide in the weekend. They need headlines, too. I'm not doing Taylor Swift today, 'cause, boy, there's some backlash, man.
There's backlash.
Holy cow. Columnists coming out. They're just like, hey, man, you've gone too far. I mean, come on. In fact, they're going after Ariana and Taylor going, hey, enough of the oversharing. It's
Really?
too much. It's too much.
I heard they had to censor a critic's name somewhere.
It's too much oversharing. Let's not overshare
They're just saying
anymore.
we don't need to know all about your life.
Let's have some fun
Okay.
with the music. Let's,
Yeah.
And then Variety said she needed an editor. Oh, it was the New York Times that said she needed an editor. And that's what happens, kids, when you get really big in any business. You start thinking that your stuff doesn't... You start thinking that everything you do is amazing.
Is a hit.
It's like if Steven Spielberg wanted to make a 4-hour movie,
Right.
who's going to be the member on his staff that says, hey, Steve, if I can call you that, it's a little long. It's a little boring in the middle.
Yeah.
Hey, Steve, I got 4 words for you. Empire of the Sun.
You know what Steve says?
What?
You're fired.
Wait,
who's-
why does he have an accent all of a
Yeah.
sudden? Steven Spielberg's from the U.S.
That's the thing. When you get that big and famous, you can have it. You
Any
can say
accent you want?
you could be born here, but you can say I'm British. Remember Kathleen Turner, the actress?
Yeah.
From America.
Right.
She had a British accent.
She got hit in the head. She had an accident which changed her
Oh, cool.
accent.
Blimey, mate.
Yeah.
Oh, bloody hell.
Madonna had that London accent for a while.
Yeah. Right.
CJ Morgan has adopted an Australian accent.
Let's
for
go
some
round the
reason.
pub and
Really?
have an English breakfast with Tom Webb. Eh? Right.
Isn't it?
All right. Oh, I was going to do a Billie Eilish story, wasn't I?
I think something was going to
Billie
happen.
Eilish. Now,
Sorry,
Kids.
kids. Here's the thing, kids. You know how your moms and dads sometimes say, "Hey, we need to focus." Well, we got to do the same thing with Bob sometimes, Mr. Bob. Hey, Mr.
I get
Bob,
carried
focus.
away. I go into it's like a religious experience. I go into a different world. But Billie Eilish, if you can't score tickets, kid, to her latest tour, she's bringing the fans out there. Her fans, the next best thing. The game's 3rd season of its rock band-esque festival experience went live. I'm talking about Fortnite. Went live yesterday, featuring the 22-year-old pop star as its featured artist. And she's all animated and stuff in Fortnite. I got to go check that out.
You probably should.
How
Fortnite shared a
accurate is
trailer.
the
I don't know.
animation?
Oh, wait a minute. You're going to not... Chewy, is it
We're
always...
talking to kids right now, Chewy.
Chewy?
Okay, yeah, I just want to know. Does she have her signature hair color and everything?
Yes, probably.
There's only one way to find out.
Grow up.
Subscribe. Yeah, that and subscribe to Fortnite. I can get you a card. How many hours do you want? I don't even know how they charge for Fortnite.
I just need 5 minutes.
Anyway, she's got an avatar dressed in a patterned shirt and pants combo with matching sneakers. Her roots dyed bright green as they were in 2019. She falls through a portal in the sky and crashes into Earth, leaving a fiery explosion in her wake. Sorry if that's a spoiler alert. Anyway, that's cool. That's cool. Check that out, kids, after you do your homework, all right? It's time for the rock and roll news salute. Oh, my goodness. And I'm going to send this one out to Adam Dubich because he sent me something I'm going to send to you, Matt, for a Click, Click, Boom next week.
Okay.
Mr. Dubich.
He sent me a list of rock acts that have the best 4 album runs in history. Very interesting.
If he gets married and you're discussing him and his wife, would you refer to them as the Dubiches?
I'll marry him.
Well, that's a very interesting question, Matt. Good question.
Hey,
Mr. Dubich.
Do you want this?
what do you know? What do you do on a weekend? What's your hobby?
All right, Mr. Dubich. Is there anything in the car I should look for?
Anyway, I'm going to send you this. Thank you, Adam. This is very good. I think this is good clickbait for Click, Click, Boom. And in fact, there's 6 of them, Matt, so you
Sounds
can do
great.
one a day.
Okay. All right.
Oh,
All right.
I like that.
All right, I'm going to
Forward
send
and
that to
away.
you.
Like
Sing
an
us out,
advent
Chewy.
calendar.
Look at me, right on time, 7:40. Oh, my goodness. We learned a lot about rock and roll. I just didn't give you the news. I gave you some history lessons, kids. Because I don't know anybody that knows more about rock and roll than me. Maybe Ben Fong Torres, the Rolling Stone. I don't know. Anyway, after the show, I'm going to study up more and bring you more rock and roll news tomorrow. You're like, Bob, man, you know a lot about rock and roll. I'll never be as good as you. But remember one thing. I'm not above you. I'm not below you. I'm right here with you Monday through Friday at this time. I got to go out to the limo and wait for the... I'll see you later.
Mornings with Matt and Bob are powered by Chewy. That's what they say, is that there's more and more conclusive evidence coming out that you need to have some kind of sense of community to continue to live a fruitful and full life. I did hang out with hung with some friends last night, saw a lot of good
Oh,
buddies.
it must be nice to have friends.
My buddy Alan's birthday.
Well, happy birthday.
He's not aged at all, and that freaks me out a bit. I pulled up a picture
Some
of him.
of us are like that.
Pulled up a picture of him from 10 years ago, and I was like, my God, you literally look exactly the same. That it was a little annoying to me.
What if he's like an avatar? You know, maybe the Matrix or whatever we're living in
Yeah.
forgot to age him. You know,
he
it's
just
like a
got passed
glitch.
by.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then started chatting with some other friends. We were talking about that sense of community because we're talking about, next moves and the futures and will we stay in Austin? And the trick part of making a move is how do you find a good community of friends again if you make a move, if you leave the city?
Oh, they'll find me.
Okay. How will they do that?
I'll be sitting at a cafe, sipping an espresso.
An espresso is a homemade coffee, right?
Oh,
You're just bringing your own coffee to a cafe?
I meant espresso. Reading the local paper of the
Is that
day.
who you see yourself as later in life?
Yeah.
As sipping cappuccinos
Yeah.
and reading the paper?
Maybe working on my novel.
God, I thought you would be
Until
way cooler
lunch,
than that. I
and
thought
then
you'd be
I'll
way
get-
cooler than that.
Get a baguette and some cheese. A little wine, and then... You know what I mean? And then people will come up and go, hey.
And you can do all this in sunny downtown Bee Cave, Texas?
Oh, no, I'm heading out.
Where are you headed to?
I'm heading out.
Where are you
for
going?
Greener pastures, baby.
Yeah. That was a discussion because I've been looking for places. I'm trying to plan out like 10 and 15 years from now, and as the kids age out of the house, and where's the next move? And I've started looking at some places because for me, quality of life also centers around housing and the kind of house you have. And I don't want. I want to.
It's going to be,
I want a house with really tall ceilings, like built in the 1800s or something.
Yeah.
But in order to afford one of those, I certainly couldn't get one of those in like downtown Chicago, where they're $4 million a piece. But I can go to Iowa and get one, or Kansas.
Right.
But the discussion came up, can you find anybody that you can tolerate when you get there?
Right. And now you got to think, before you didn't have to worry about politics. Now you got to worry about politics.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So
before,
there really is.
you
So
just
you
didn't
get-
know
so
what
is that the-
you didn't
is
know
that
what your
the
neighbor's
answer?
politics
Do
were.
you
They
get
didn't
stuck
fly
in
a
place?
flag.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, I would
Everybody-
prefer you
nobody
fly a
talked-
flag so I know who you are.
In my parents'
Like
generation,
Yeah, exactly.
my parents' generation, nobody talked about money, nobody talked about their religion, and nobody talked about their politics.
But now you fly a
You
Trump
gotta-
flag or a in this house sign.
Right. And you got to let everybody know. Everything. So that makes it a little harder because there's times, you go, oh, well, I think maybe, Tulsa looks kind of interesting. Yeah, but, yeah, but.
Well,
I'm going to have a hard time finding a mid-century modern house in the Midwest.
You're
probably.
not, actually. That's where they
is
all
it
are.
really?
That's where they all are.
Then let's go.
Yeah,
Let's
and that's
go.
even some of the stuff I've been looking at. Anyway, that came up last night, and it really hit me in the gut hard of just like, you do need a good group of friends and support around you, and how do you find that later in life? Because when you're 20,
will you be
find
working?
out, me?
Yeah, I mean, like,
If I do it right, I won't be.
Okay, so yeah, that's going to be... You'll be a shut-in. You know what I mean? I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean, like, if you don't have a job, where are you going? You're going to go down to the barber shop and hang out with the fellas? Like, I don't know what happens.
Do you think
There's no downtowns anymore.
You think
There's
I can make good friends at the strip club, at the strippy? Like me, I could be like, oh, I notice you like wearing running shorts. I love wearing running shorts to the strip club as well.
Look how thin these are.
Look, these are really thin. Look at it.
You can feel everything.
What brand
See
are
through.
those? Are those Umbros? Oh, sweet. I got these off of Amazon.
I think it will happen organically. You're a friendly guy. You'll tell a joke
But here's something I
or
add.
two.
Will I find friends
I'm
of the
too
deep
selective.
nature that I have found here?
I know some of your friends. Not so deep, really. Rich, yes. Deep? I don't know.
I say make friends with your kids. They're going to be there for a while.
Shut up.
They're never moving
Shut
up.
up.
They're never moving
They're
out.
not going to move out.
Yeah. Kids are broken.
How do you plan on them doing that?
Do you have, Chewy, a good set of bro friends, or is that somewhere you feel you're lacking
I do,
in life?
but everyone's married with kids, and then that's, I don't want to say life is over, but it's a new, different life.
Correct.
So
Do you feel like you've lost a lot of your friends to a marriage death? Because you don't see them, you don't get to see them in the same way, and you get to see them much less frequently.
yeah.
Do you
Yes,
miss?
no.
Do you think that it's affecting your mental health whatsoever? Are you starting to retreat more and more into just work and computer games?
Nah, I enjoy just being,
I didn't ask if you were.
I get
I
the
didn't ask
social-
if you enjoyed it. I said, are you retreating more into alone and work?
yeah,
Okay.
and I like it.
Okay.
See,
Healthy for you.
I look at it different than you, man. I see moving on like that is a way to reinvent yourself.
Oh, I didn't see it as I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, okay.
I may do
but
it next week.
if you take your friends with you, now it looks like it's a cult. If you're all living in houses.
What did I say that you
Oh, I
took
don't- I
that I
sounded
would
like-
take my friends with me?
Well, because you said you wanted to have your friends.
No.
You can't have it both. You
gotta
can't
make
have
new friends.
You got to make new friends.
That was my whole thing.
okay.
Is how do you find that friend set when you get somewhere?
You can't make new friends.
It's a concern. You
can
what
make a friend when you're married with kids. but
That's
you
what
can't
all
have,
I was trying to say.
You can't have
You
a
think
friend
I'm going to
group.
try to
That's
pack
ridiculous.
up everybody I know and move them to Dubuque?
You're allowed to have one friend. That's it.
Is that where you're going? Is that?
And y'all hang
I've
out.
been to Iowa. It's not. I lived in Iowa.
You did? When did you live in Iowa?
6 months.
Why?
Des Moines. You would have to ask my dad. I think
he was on your base? Okay.
I think he was on some kind of investigating UFOs or something. There's not even an Air Force base there, so I don't even know why I lived there for 6 months.
Had he gone AWOL?
No, I think he might have been CIA or something. I don't know. I don't know.
Was he trying to break up a corn ring?
He wasn't a recruiter, so It was like that. I could see that would be a definite assignment, but I don't know.
Oh, were the strategic Shasta reserves in Iowa at the
He
time?
might have been working with the reserves. He might have been. I don't know. I should have sat down and talked to him before he lost his memory.
It would have been good to have a conversation with him at some point, yeah.
And say, hey, why did we live in Iowa for 6 months? Why'd you do that to us?
If I told you, I'd have to kill you.
No, I think you're a personable guy. You're a funny guy. I think you're going to make friends wherever you've never had trouble making friends before, right? So why are you worried now? It'll happen organically.
Because I don't think that you were listening at the very beginning of this, and I don't mean that cruelly. The point I was making is there are multiple studies now that say that having a quality community around you,
right?
The quality, not a quantity, not just having friends, but the quality of that helps you live longer.
Right.
And I was saying my concern is I don't know that I can find a quality.
I got 2 words for you.
Group of community in a move.
Now I want you to. I listened to you just now.
Okay.
And I want you to listen to me. I got 2 words for you.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Right here. My eyes are right here.
Okay.
Pickle ball.
Oh, Jesus Christ. So mad at you right now. So mad at you right now. You need no help. No help whatsoever.
You find your people.
I think you're supposed to start either smoking meats and then joining like barbecue cook-offs, or you go like wood, you whittle wood or something.
Here's my thing. You're talking about finding like-minded people, and that means finding acquaintances. Right now, all of my bros, my buddies, my good friends that I think I can rely on, none of us have anything in common. We don't do the same things.
So maybe this thing has run its course.
Maybe it has. Maybe it's time.
Find a good church.
You know what? I think I'm just going to go home and open an artery. That's what I'll do. Thank you, guys.
Hey.
Lean in now for some thick headline.
KXAN broke this story yesterday. Junk fees are growing. Junk fees are growing in Texas apartments, according to a recent study. You're in an apartment or a home, a duplex, whatever you're in.
It's an apartment.
Okay. Do you know what junk fees are?
I guess when you got to move something big, like a big piece of junk.
No. It's stuff like a trash fee or a pest control fee.
I do get a trash fee that I'm just like, is the person supposed to take it to the dumpster for me? We don't have one of those. What am I paying for?
There's also stuff like they'll put a mandatory fee in there toward the cable lines, even if you're not getting cable to your place.
Right.
And they add these services and they just put a flat fee. It's a way for them to basically do hidden rent increases. They're not advertised. Do you know what I mean?
Look, it's just like any business. They're all crooks. Everyone's trying to scam you.
Yeah.
When do you find out about this? Like you see a place and it has a price, right, per month or whatever, and then you go in to sign the lease. Is that where they hit you with it?
Yeah, and then sometimes they come to you afterwards and they go, oh, we have these. Mm-hmm. Now, here's the thing. On all of these fees, you have the opportunity to negotiate them. Now, they may say these are mandatory fees, and you can, before you sign, you can scratch through it and say, I won't pay these fees. I'm going to pay your lease. Yeah. That's what I want to pay. But we usually go in with a beggar's bowl saying, please accept us into your apartment community. Now, they can tell you no, and you can walk out. I will say this. Right now, we are starting to see larger and larger vacancy rates in the city, and now's the time when you can do a little bit of negotiating. You couldn't have done it 3 years ago. Everything was full, and it was the renters market.
I'm curious if it's going down. I'm about to have to go look for some seriously in a month.
I think right now is a really good time for you to go negotiate and get yourself an apartment with a cleaner, newer apartment with better amenities for cheaper than you have right now. I think now's the time to do it.
I hope that you are correct and it's not just going to be the same prices.
No, I think that you can. I think right now is a good time. You got to go in with a square shoulders. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got to do a little bit of negotiating work, but I think right now is the time to do it inside the city.
Fingers crossed.
Anyway, just be aware. There can be some of those junk fees. There's mandatory and non-mandatory, and you can ask on all those things. If you're going to sign a lease, remember, you don't just have to accept it there. You can ask, and don't just go, what is this? And then when they explain it, go, oh, okay. say, I don't want to pay that. Because a lot of times they've been trained, don't fight on that. So as soon as you say, I don't want to pay that, they go, well, let me go talk to my manager, and they'll come back. And
I think you have to say it 3 times.
Is that what you guys do?
It's kind of like Beetlejuice or whatever.
1, 2, 3. After years of back and forth, Travis County is taking a small step to provide lawyers for low-income people accused of crimes. It's called Counsel at First Appearance. And it's kind of a good compromise, really. I know there are a lot of people who don't like the idea of no bail cities, where you're released on your own recognizance with no bail whatsoever. That some people feel like that is not a good way to keep people and assure that they'll show up. But also there are people saying, hey, the problem is that some people are getting these ridiculous bails for first-time crimes, and you literally can ruin them financially for the rest of their life. We have to find a happy medium. Turns out that bail tends to be much lower when someone is appearing with counsel, as opposed to just standing in front of a judge and not knowing what and how to argue.
Interesting.
Right? So they're saying, hey, if we can present... A lot of people don't even know, well, I should ask for a lawyer. They worry, what's it going to cost me? You know, when they say, well, a lawyer will be provided for you, you still have to ask for that. They don't realize they have to ask for it. They're just saying, hey, when you show up for that very first, when you've been arrested, and you get arrested and they say, hey, you had 2 unpaid speeding tickets, and we got to take you in now. Because they both went to warrant. And now you go in there and they go, and you don't have the money to pay them right away because they've gone and they've gotten fees on them, and it's like, it's going to be $1,200. And you're like, well, I don't have $1,200. Well, if you have a counsel right there, they can say, Your Honor, it's the first time they've had this. They need to be out in order to be able to raise the funds for the $1,200. Let's get them on a payment plan, $100 a month for the next year. And they can negotiate for that for you and help you stand up for yourself a little bit better.
Like having a wingman.
Yeah. And this is a really good thing. I think anything like this is better for the community in general. If we really want people to be rehabilitated through the criminal justice system, the last thing we need to do is to create more criminality by putting people through the system. And that's what's happening right now. Okay.
Got it.
All right. All right.
Well, look out for that.
All right.
I'm going to take your advice.
Okay. Here we go. Foxtrot Markets have shuttered all of their stores
I saw this. I didn't
in
get a chance to
Austin.
go.
Why? Why would you have wanted to go?
Because people liked it, right?
What people?
I
How
don't
much
know.
money did you need to like the Foxtrot
I've
Market?
never even heard of it, I'll be honest.
Chicago-based boutique grocer. Bet big on Austin. Last year, they opened 4 of their boutique groceries. If you were looking for a $19 soda or perhaps a $52 cheese and cracker plate,
Oh, I bet it's good.
it was so ridiculously overpriced. And if you went in there, it was just like annoying. It was all 20-somethings typing on their computer because all the influencers hung out there typing away.
Gross.
It was in between my daughter's school and a doctor's appointment she would have to go to, so we would stop there sometimes. And every single time, I kid you not, every single time I walked out, furious. Furious. Because I would go in and we would get 2 sodas and 2 bags of chips. And I'm not kidding you, it'd be like $22. And I'd be like, this effing town, this. And because they were so bougie, the help was not very helpful.
Right.
Excellent.
I know it sounds like right now I'm dancing on someone's grave, and it's because I am. The shops were filled with, quote-unquote, artisanal snacks. Eat my scrunt.
What kind of snacks? I want to see. I missed out. I can't believe I missed out.
They were a popular spot after first arriving last year. All of Foxtrot's 33 national stores shuttered yesterday, suddenly.
Oh, no.
I do feel bad for people who lost their jobs. We're seeing a lot of this. Foxtrot has closed, put a bunch of people out in them streets. Tesla announced yesterday, we don't really have any plans. We don't know what's happening. We're the largest employer, but we are going to start throwing people to the streets here in a hurry. There are going to be 2,700 Tesla employees who, unfortunately, will be losing their job here in the next coming month. And it could actually get worse from there after yesterday's earnings call with Tesla. It seems like there's no plan to stop the bleeding right now.
They don't charge enough for the cars and the
It's
the
not
trucks?
that. You can charge whatever you want to. There's just a thing called supply and demand.
And no one's buying them. Damn.
People are buying them. But people are wanting to buy them more cheaply, and that becomes an issue for everybody. So
They're coming.
And here's another thing. Austin-based Oracle will move its world headquarters to...
Where?
Are you ready?
What's he gonna say? Where's he saying?
Nashville.
The new Austin.
Is not great news. We are making a turn, and the next few leaders that we elect and select in the city are going to be very important, Austin. I know some people are excited because they're like, oh, this will mean cheaper stuff. But remember, it doesn't take very long for an entire scene to disappear almost overnight. And the next thing you know, any investment you've made in a house or in your careers or whatever suddenly becomes questionable. I bring that up because early voting has also begun here in the city, and you might want to make your voice heard. There is an election happening right now, and that's going to determine some of the people who are in the November ballot. And remember, guess what happens in the November ballot? We will be selecting a lot of new leaders here in the city. I will always encourage you to put your word in there.
Take a good one.
Take a good one. It's a good one. There you go.
There you go.
And ladies and gentlemen, that's all I have to say on today's Austin area headlines. If you want to see the Texas Stars take on the Manitoba Moose at the HEB Center, the Cedar Park Center there?
Yep.
That's Thursday. 5 lucky people are going to win a pair of tickets each to go see that playoff match. Go to KLBJFM.com right now. Click on a contest page, and you can register. That's right. We're not giving those away on air. We're doing it through the website, KLBJFM.com. Go to the contest page, click on there, and you can. We'll take the registrations, and we'll 5 lucky people will win a pair of e-tickets to go see the Texas Stars take on the Manitoba Moose as part of the hockey playoffs.
Will you get to have a meet and greet with Sawyer Stull?
Whoa. Sawyer will be there.
I know he'll be there.
He'll be there.
By the way, he's going to do a live show next week. When's May 2nd? Is that next week?
It is. It's next Thursday.
Yeah. He's going to be in the big room.
He's going to be in the big room.
We're going to be there.
And Sawyer's not here today, but we want to let you know we want to surprise him.
Right.
With a pretty full house.
I would love that. I'm trying to get my neighbors to go and all my friends.
I think we're going to try to get as many people as we can to buy tickets, and we're going to have lots of extra giveaways as well. We'll have him in here. We're going to tell him that we have 3 pair of tickets, but we'll have other giveaways. If you are somebody who's in a position where you can pay for the ticket, maybe leave a giveaway for. The giveaways for someone who's not is steady of a financial position you're in. But we're going to try to put as many
Are you on that show?
in seats.
Did I hear a rumor that you're going to be on that show? Maybe? Okay, never mind. I thought I heard that, but
well, I think I'm gonna open. He wants me to open.
I think you should MC that show or open that show, whatever you guys call it.
Yeah, I may do that because I really want. I want to see his career's going very well, and I want him to be able to build to that next level. Because I can't support him emotionally any longer. It's time for him to launch, and let's get into that.
Yeah, I was going to say you could help him launch.
Failure
that show.
To launch was
That's a movie.
As not just a rom-com with Matthew McConaughey and Sarah Jessica Parker.
Oh, I thought that was Kate Hudson.
It's also an issue that's going on maybe in our country, and a lot of you out there right now who are parents may have kids that are going through this. And I don't want to say somebody in the room's going through it, but I suspect somebody in the room might be going through it.
It's me.
Because someone comes in here in a pretty bad mood occasionally and goes, I'm just going to shoot myself. I'm just going to go to Canada. It's ridiculous. I'm a terrible dad. I was a terrible father.
I must have been. I mean,
I
that person must have been.
There you go. That person must have been.
Yeah.
How would you define failure to launch, Bob?
I don't know. And I think it's generational. Maybe I'm not giving the generational part of it enough credit, and I'm not giving the pandemic enough credit in this.
Are we making excuses? Are we using the pandemic to make excuses for it?
I'll say what the issue
What's the issue?
is. I don't think anyone established a blueprint on what was supposed to happen. So what are the guidelines? When was I supposed to launch? Or what was what was the formula or anything. I don't think anything. I think it's just here, and then it's like now the
Dude, I
circumstances
felt this need
we have to take in.
The moment I graduated from college, I felt this. Well, like I worked all through college, part-time, at least in the summers. My wife had 3 jobs when I met her. She was in wrapping up college.
Yeah.
She took a little longer because she had to pay for it herself.
Blow, hand, and what was the third one?
No. She worked at a retail place, an art gallery, and worked at an advertising agency.
And these were all for lessons, or was it out of necessity?
Out of necessity, because she paid for her own school. And I felt that need, the minute I like the day after I graduated from UT. I think I graduated from UT on a Saturday, and by Monday, I had my little bag with my lunch.
Little lunch pail.
Going to work at Channel 7. It wasn't an option. That wasn't like an option. It's like, I got to do something.
How many people did you beat out for that job?
I don't know. I was on my way to Wichita Falls to make Air Force training films at whatever base is up there. I don't even remember the Air Force base. I got offered a job out of film school.
These protrusions from the fuselage are known as wings.
To make training films for the U.S. Air Force. And I thought, well, that's film. They're going to hand me a camera, and I'll cut my teeth on that, or whatever they say.
Right.
And at the last minute, and I didn't even know where I was going to live. I was going to jump in a car with another film student who got a job, and we were just going to go up there and try to figure it out. I can't even believe I was going to do that. And then at the last minute, my dad goes, hey, I was talking to... My dad worked at Bergstrom Air Force Base, which was before there was an airport, everybody. It was an Air Force base. And he said, hey, the PR guy, the base PR guy, was talking to general manager of Channel 7, and they're looking for a fresh young face to, whatever. Mm-hmm. And he got me an interview.
But in the meantime, we thought you would work.
He got me in an interview. And I went in and interviewed and got the job that day. As producing commercials and writing commercials and shooting and editing, and then went on to PM Magazine and producing, co-producing that or whatever. And it just was like I just
market. You just try out a few places.
You just hit the ground running. No, listen, when you come from
sounded like you just walked in and got a job.
When you come from nothing, you don't really have time to assess all your options.
But you've just now hit the nail on the head.
Did I?
Yeah.
What nail did I hit?
You are concerned sometimes that you feel that your boys are not moving with the urgency that you would like to see them move with, correct?
That their parents did, right? We ran fast. My wife and I ran fast.
They have options. It's a big world.
Mm-hmm. I don't even think that's
the
it.
thing.
Here's what were the things that your kids grew up without?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
You wanted your kids to have a very comfy life, and you provided that for them.
No, I wanted to have a comfy life. They rode my coattails.
Well, it doesn't matter. I'm saying? The point is that one of the things that makes us launch and go out there and start hustling,
and this isn't all about me, this is all theoretical,
is to get rid of the discomfort we have in our lives.
Right. I also blame the pandemic for a lot of things that are going on with the youth. And I also blame society in that I don't know if I even want to say this.
Say it.
Nope.
It makes better radio if you say it.
Just do it.
Just like on the internet, pretty girls are getting all the good jobs.
I wouldn't have said that, dude.
I didn't know you were going to say that.
Don't you hit it. Don't hit it. Don't hit it.
No.
It's too late.
It is too late.
It is too late. You won't even dump it. You'll just dump other good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you're lucky you don't have ugly boys. I think at least the good-looking boys might probably get, a leg up in a business.
I'm sorry that your tall, attractive, wealthy, white sons just don't have it as good as women do these days.
They're smart, too. I think the problem is they do have a lot of options. If they were dumb, then they would be like, I'm just going to take whatever
I
this
think
job
you're-
is, and then just life continues.
Isn't your whole goal
Am I
in
going to get in
life?
trouble for saying that? It's just my perception from
No.
looking at Instagram.
I'm going to tell you this right now.
And I have friends that have, like, you know.
I drove my parents crazy because I went through a lot of this, and part of it was in my mind. I thought, well, one day I'll get to something. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But in the meantime, I'm enjoying pleasure. Like I wanted to feel good. I've learned through my life experiences. Bipolar kid, right? I'm not making an excuse. I figured out like, oh, when the oxytocin's all messed up in your brain, you just want to feel good, right? And so that's what I was always. I was looking for the smiles and the leisure and the happiness,
Right.
Right.
And maybe that's the way. I think that's the European way.
And guess what? When I worked my jobs, it created friction. So I was looking for, hey, what's going to be the ultimate job that brings me all this happiness? And I didn't want to go into other jobs in the meantime. And it created a lot of issues. Mm-hmm. I am embarrassed by it now as an adult. But I know that I undersold myself a lot of times, or I kind of really underemployed myself a lot of times.
Yeah.
Because in my mind, I was like, well, wait, I'm trying to find the ultimate job, and then I'll launch. But what I should have been doing is working my ass off in the meantime, too, until I found something. That would have been the better way to do it. But you couldn't explain that to me because I was a hard-headed piece of S at the time, right?
Right.
And I think that sometimes I see a lot of, and I've seen it with a lot of some of the interns who have come through here.
When did you move out of your parents' house?
When did I move out? I mean, the day I graduated.
College?
High school, but I was on the dole, and I was having to go back a lot of times for emergency loans. Hey, can I get this? Hey, can you hook me up with this? Can you help me out with this?
That's the thing, is I don't think the parenting ends, even if they launch out into somewhere.
But here's the thing. I saw that as an option because I saw comfort in other places. And that's what I'm saying is that your boys probably say, well Mama will help us out if we get into a bind.
What I'm talking about, what I've been talking about and bitching and moaning off the air about is just fear. Okay?
Right.
I have no real problems, right? My son, my oldest, has a job.
He does.
He's working.
I'm not
he's doing
him.
Contract work in his industry, industry that he wants to be in. Fine. I'm projecting into the future, and then my middle son is a UT student. He doesn't need to launch yet. He's not done with school.
And your other one's in high school.
And I have one that's still in high school.
Right.
I am Mr. Future Warrior Man.
Right. And what you're talking about is the fear.
I should start a YouTube channel.
So if
Future Warrior Man?
Mr. Future Warrior
So
Man.
no matter what happens, you'll never not worry.
Right.
Correct.
Okay.
But what he's talking about right now, and I know what he's talking about.
Thank you, radio.
Can I talk about your oldest son right now? Can I have your permission?
No, not really. It's a little sore subject right now, but he's fine. I'm the one that's
I want to know.
Go ahead and ask me the question.
What do you expect from? Oh, ask him that.
Well, because I think that your oldest son and me, I think I actually have a lot in common with him.
I know you guys have talked. I agree. And
he's incredibly sharp. He's incredibly sharp. And I think here's what's happening is I think you're having discussions with him and you're going, well, what are you doing these days? And he goes, well, I'm doing this. And you're going, well, how are you getting ahead in life right now? And he's like, well, I've got a position. It's just part-time and it doesn't quite cover all of it. And you go, okay, but so what's the other thing you're going to get as well? And he goes, well, I'm waiting some tables and hanging out with friends. And you're like, but because you don't see the fire.
Right.
You're like, well, you've got that one job, but why aren't you going into? And he probably goes, well, I can't do that. I can't just burst into a Hollywood production place and say, hire me. I can't do that. I don't have the experience. And you're like, F the experience, go in there. Go get the job.
Take
go get
50
it done.
interviews. Right. I'm
And
Mr. 50 interviews guy. You gotta break some eggs to make an omelet.
I know. I lived in constant fear, and I actually got approached by companies more than once where they said, we would like you to do this. I said, well, I don't really. There's a guy who's better for the job. It's that imposter syndrome thing, right? And I remember I hooked friends of mine up with jobs because I thought, well, this friend I know actually knows more than I do about this particular subject.
Yeah.
So I got them jobs because
you thought
because I heard that noise.
Yeah.
Because what I should have said is, yeah, I can do that. Absolutely, I can. And then I should have gone to those friends and said, I got this job. Can you help me figure it out?
Right. Why don't they teach any of this in schools, by the way?
The hustle?
Yeah. Why don't they teach any of it?
I don't know. My father tried so desperately. I think my father's heart attacks were a result of my dragging my feet.
Oh, no, you can't put that on yourself. Now it's really gotten sad.
I think the only way to do it for financially secure people like you is to pretend like you're having money problems and that things are going really bad for me and your mother, and I don't know like what's going to happen, and you downgrade to a very small, crappy home to where they don't want. Like I don't want this life. I'm gonna have to get out of here and go do something. I don't want to end up like my dad, Bob. I don't want to end up
What
like him.
really launched me was getting married. But until then, I really...
That was at like 40.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So that's when it became real. That like, oh, I've got to bring home some bacon.
I have somebody who counts on me.
Yeah.
I have somebody count because I would sell myself short and I would let myself go without certain things. But I realized I can't let another person.
How do you attract a woman?
You can't. I don't know.
Without...
Because I got lucky.
Without being established with a bunch of money, and
like,
you want her to be attractive?
don't know.
Right. I mean,
That's
she's got to see
today.
some at least potential, right?
I got lucky.
I don't know.
My wife had come to town and was only going to stay here for a couple of months, and then she was moving.
Oh, that's right.
So I think she was like, "Oh, I can hang out with this guy for a little bit, and then I'm taking off. It's not like it's permanent. I'm not hitching my wagon to him."
I wish high schools just had one class or something to teach these kids that. And I don't even know. Like now, it's all about. My wife keeps saying you can't do anything without LinkedIn anymore. Like I've disregarded LinkedIn.
I've never even looked at LinkedIn.
Oh, you couldn't get a job now without LinkedIn.
What do you mean you can't get a job without LinkedIn?
You can't.
That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
No.
If you're going to get like a smarter, top tier job,
I'm telling you.
Why? What do you have?
Because that's where they're going. They go, send me your LinkedIn.
For
you
what?
go, you apply for a job.
You're a
it's like we're
bioengineer?
going to
What
look
are
at your
you,
LinkedIn.
What's
What's your social media? Where's your LinkedIn?
What do you put? Am I
in the
supposed
old
to
days,
write
you just
stuff
send a
on the
resume and they call you for an interview.
Am I supposed to write stuff in my LinkedIn?
Now it's like, oh, you want this job? Okay, just shoot us your LinkedIn and we'll look it over and maybe we'll do a Zoom interview. This will be round 1 of 50 rounds we're gonna do.
No, your kids are right to not go do that.
You know
that
what I
sounds
mean?
lame.
No, it
sounds scary.
It's daunting.
That sounds horrible. I don't want to do that.
It's daunting. Please, anyone call in and tell Matt this is how the world works now.
Can I ask both of you, what do you expect from your children's launch? What are you expecting them to make? What are you expecting them to have? And what are you expecting them to do?
First of all, I think you just want them to you want them to be happy, but you also are realist to know that they are in a very expensive market. And for what everybody's saying this is the best job market, we got the least amount of unemployment and all that. All I hear about are jobs disappearing. Are we turning into Flint, Michigan? No. Then where are the jobs?
There are thousands of jobs. We have incredibly low unemployment here. We have lost jobs.
None of them are good that pay enough to live places. But
no, shut up. Now you're doing what I do, and you're doing what his sons are doing. When you say none of them are good, there are.
Why isn't your son in a house living somewhere? Like
because he's chosen to take a job working for someone that does not pay a ton. But there are thousands of jobs in the city right now that pay very well that you can go get.
Okay.
But why? Okay, I don't want to. We have a friend that was in high tech that's now a janitor. How did he not? How do you not stay in high tech?
I have a friend who was in tech who was making more than $200,000 a year.
Yeah,
and that job went away. And he's been looking. The problem is he's looking for. When you're looking for a job in the similar, nobody wants to take a huge step back.
No, I know.
Especially when you've got that kind of money saved.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can buy yourself some time.
I just don't know what y'all are expecting for your kids. What's the expectation?
My expectation for the issue. My son, I think, he may thrive because you can put him on task. My daughter has an issue right now. You know, she tried so hard to get on this track team, and she knew that I never ran track. The other kids have all run track. They're faster than me. I'm not developed in some of these skills yet. And we started trying to talk about setting realistic goals because I was like, if your goal is I want to be number 1 on the track team with no experience, you've set yourself a really miserable, hard to attain goal. She managed to get into a couple of meets already. But then when she gets into it, she goes, oh, I managed to get a good enough time that I can do the 200 at this meet. And I'm like, that's great. She goes, yeah, but I'm going to come in last. I'm like, you haven't even, you're not even giving yourself the grace to celebrate from. So in the last meet, we set a goal, which was to not be last. The heat had 6 people running. And I said, so you want to be 5th because you don't want to be 6th. So your goal is to be
My dad used to
fifth.
say that to me when I was running bases and base. Don't be last.
So I said, so set a goal
It
that
turned
you
out
can
all right.
achieve. And the goal that you're trying to achieve right now, the goal you're trying to achieve is to be fifth in this heat.
Yeah.
She came in third.
See?
Okay? And
Right in the middle.
She walked off the track. She walked over to me and she goes, I got smoked by those other two girls.
Oh, she still wasn't happy with that. She exceeded the expectations.
I was like,
and
you
still
had
wasn't
3
happy.
people behind you, and you were going neck and neck with another girl, and you managed, the two of you started putting on the jets, and you managed to just stick your neck out just enough to beat her and come in third. That was a great way to actually really succeed. Yeah, but those other two girls, did you see how far behind we were? We were like 2 lengths behind those other two girls. I was like, you're not even...
My dad would have told me I was second loser. I came in
So
third.
she just came in. And she just like, oh, I'm competing in this one, but I don't want you to come because I'm gonna come in last. I'm gonna come in. I'm like, you're not even allowing it, and it's that kind of negativity inside of your brain. So what I want my daughter to achieve in life is to believe in her, just to give herself some grace and believe in herself a little bit. It might be more specific as we get older, but right now the number one thing I need for her, because the only way she's going to get somewhere in life, is to believe in herself a little bit. And not put hurdles up for herself like, sorry to poke at you, like, well, there's no good jobs out there anyway. Because
All
you
right.
can't find a good job if you tell yourself sitting here without looking, there's no good jobs out there.
You better work.
I got to start getting
better work
specific
on her
with these
LinkedIn.
questions, because otherwise it just turns into like this negative thing where I'm being negative. Now,
Don't forget to do her FastFoot too,
my final question.
and LinkedIn.
If you guys were launching, zero money, zero experience, zero anything, we're launching today, give the kids some advice. What would you be doing to make it today?
Hit the ground
Please,
running and
let's
work
hear it.
your ass off.
What does that mean?
What does that mean?
2 jobs, 3
You don't-
jobs,
you-
and which jobs are
You
they?
don't give up after the first rejection. I know it's hard. Rejection is one of the worst things in life. But you're going to get rejected a million times. You're going to get rejected by women. You're going to get rejected by jobs. But you got to go back in.
I would say get any job anywhere, get inside the door, look around and find the places where you can climb.
Or make the contacts.
Yeah, because you can climb inside of any business. You got to bet you have to
Or
make
you'll
that
hear of
choice.
another. You got to get in the game somewhere. And I think my sons do. I'm being very hard on myself and very hard on them. They work hard. This is Austin's a lot tougher city than maybe some other cities would be to find meaningful stuff. I'm being very hard, and I'm more worried about the future than right now, to be fair. But you got to get in the game. And once you're in the game, then you hear things. Then people say things. Oh, well, this guy's leaving this place. And, okay,
Also,
well, maybe
no
go-
matter what business you're in, it doesn't matter what business you're in. All businesses have some stuff in common. And when you're inside the door and listening, you can figure out a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
And then you can take that other places.
Here's one thing
The
that-
hardest thing is getting that very first job. Then when you go somewhere else and they say, why are you coming here? You say, I have learned a lot of things. But what I learned at that last business is that company is not a place where anyone can succeed, and I need to I want to succeed, and so I want to be with a company that I believe is going to succeed.
Yeah.
And you're one of those companies, even if you don't know jack s about them. You go, and you're one of those companies. When I research, you look like one of those companies. They like hearing that. Now you get hired.
Yep.
But
Here's one thing that will never happen.
And where do
I
you
tell
live
this to my
during
kids.
all
There's
of
one
this?
thing that will never happen. Knock at the front door. Hey, man, we got a job for you.
And while they're searching
We
for
heard
this
about
job,
you. We heard about you, man. We thought we'd come to your house and offer you this fantastic opportunity. Hey, it don't work that way. You got to get your LinkedIn shored up. I'm telling you.
I still don't believe in this link. I can't
I'm
believe that I have
telling
to
you,
have
man.
social media to get hired.
Austin,
I thought I was
Texas?
supposed to not have social media to get
In
hired.
Austin, Texas?
We can just push this.
Do y'all
pretty
want
hard.
to? Y'all take a quick call?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, Holt. Caller, go ahead.
Yo, hey, I was just listening. The failure to launch thing, I think it's about just believing in yourself. I can relate to kind of what Matt's saying with his daughter, how she's saying, well, this happened. I did good, but I didn't do it all. And I can relate because it's like just because you're doing the right thing, that's that's not good enough. You need to be doing the best of the right thing, and that's hard sometimes to portray in life. Like Bob was saying, there's a lot of rejection out there. There's a lot of failure to be had, right? So I just think it's. Go ahead.
Do you think one of the problems we have is that in school we don't spend enough time teaching all of our students how to fail?
I think that I learned how to fail in school, and I did better in my professional life because of that. Like, I'm in sales, so that was never spoken about really in my career day, right? It was always firefighters, doctors, lawyers, all this other stuff that I didn't have a chance of being because I just wasn't good with books.
You're in sales, which means you get told no how many times a day?
Every day, all the time.
All day long, your job is being told no, and there's an occasional victory, right?
Correct.
And you brush it off. For a lot of our modern day youth, hearing no even once is crushing. They're like, yep, it's over. I'm not good at sales. The first sales call I went on, I didn't close an annual. I'm a failure. I'm out.
Right.
There's
By
too
the
much.
way, and
we allow too much of our ego to be attached to that.
I also blame social media because you're only seeing people's success stories. You're
Probably
seeing their
point.
greatest hits reel, and you go, "Well, geez, this person never had a failure that I'm following."
Right.
Mm-hmm. But you're only seeing their greatest hits reel on Instagram.
You guys are talking about blasting off, or getting them to go and
launch,
and be themselves. You know what I mean? I have a young child at home, and my biggest thing is just like Matt was saying, have some belief in yourself. Set her up so that she's able to go and be confident in whatever she does. Whatever I have to do to give her the tools to go and do what she wants to do, that's all I want. You know what I mean? I came from parents who had major expectations, and I met some of them and I didn't meet some of them, but it's hard to put that on a kid. You know what I mean? And I know Bob talks about his dad all the time, how he says, you should have been first, or you're the first loser.
Right.
All that kind of stuff, right? That messes with people more than we think, right? And that was just the older mentality, but I feel like now...
But did he do me a service? And, I did okay.
I think the biggest service for you was that you grew up in cinder block housing.
Right.
And you didn't have anything. And you were hungry for having something. And that's what helped you launch. My father grew up in a position that he desperately wanted out of.
Yeah.
And that's why he worked his way out of it.
It's amazing it's a motivator. It's such a motivator.
There's no better motivator than not having.
Yeah.
And an entire generation came from that said, well, I'm not, my kids are going to have. At Christmas, my kids aren't going to open an apple. My kids are going to open a cornucopia of gifts that they want because they're going to have the childhood I didn't have. Yeah. And what happened is you've grown up with all your comforts.
Yeah.
So you love comfort. You love comfort, and you go, well, comfort's pretty good. And comfort does not build fires in everyone's heart. Now, there are some kids who grow up with everything and still go to Harvard and still launch and can't wait to cut throats and make bills, right? Mm-hmm. They can't because it is in them. There are some people who intrinsically have that, whether they grow up poor or rich, but not everybody has that.
Right.
And when you don't have that, it is harder to motivate when you're comfortable.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Let's go to Rick.
Rick, how's your LinkedIn? You got a short up?
What LinkedIn? All I got is the Indeed profile, boss, and a decent resume that I've been working on since I was 13 years old, pushing a mower. But my input here is that these days there's two crazy things that go on in the job world.
Okay.
One is the fake it till you make it generation, and which drives me crazy because I've applied for so many jobs that I'm very well qualified for and been passed up because somebody else is sitting there blowing smoke up somebody else's butt.
But how do you know that, though? I mean, how do you know they're faking it?
I get a call 2 weeks to a month later from the employer that I applied for that told me no initially, saying, "Oh, well, the other guy didn't work out." And would you still be interested in the job?
Gotcha. Okay.
Etc. Okay. The next thing is, oh dang it, I lost it. Oh.
No, don't think about it. Don't think about it. It's coming.
Get it back. It's right there. There's two things happening in the job world. One of them is fake it till you make it, and the next one is short-term memory loss.
Failure.
Yes, that too. No, the next thing is, and I've heard this from multiple of my friends and family, my brothers that work in different states, etc. That is that these companies out here will sit there with the multiple interview processes or multiple interviews and stuff like that, and then they give you this assignment, quote unquote, and they want you to do this free work for them, and then you bust your butt trying to make a good impression, do this assignment, and then they take the assignment, steal your work essentially,
Right.
and then don't pay you for it.
Yeah. Well, that's
Okay.
horrendous.
And don't hire you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, I've done that.
And
I've taken
that's
that
the
gamble
problem.
a few times, and it paid off. But it's always weird. The thing now, though, I just hear about, especially in the high tech world, you can go through a round. I don't know how many rounds of interviews you have to do now for a high tech job. It's like 4 or 5. I mean, the sky's the limit, and it's like,
Yeah.
jeez.
Yeah.
And it's none of it's in person. In the old days, you would go into somebody's office, shake their hands. Here's my resume. Here's my work experience, and you would find out within the week if you got the job or not. Now it's like
Right.
you're on a screen. You know,
Yeah,
I haven't had to
If-
do
if
this.
you
I'm
make
just
it that far.
There is.
if you make it to the Zoom call.
If
Right.
you're having to come into jobs where you are, and you make a good point, where you're applying as a nobody, you've already got a really big hurdle to climb. And that's where the networking comes in, is knowing somebody on the
can vouch
inside
for you.
is a tremendous part of it. I was talking with my friend last night, and he was saying, you have to purposely seek out people who are doing much better in life than you and make those your friends. If you surround yourself with friends who are doing the same, so if your friend set are your neighbors, you're doing it wrong, because your neighbors are at the same station of life that you are, because you're living in the same neighborhood. You need to become friends with people that are in the nicer neighborhood down the street. A buddy I was talking to last night said,
sir.
I was dealing with stuff where I felt I was doing pretty good, because we were signing and trying to sign contracts where we're talking about tens and sometimes even hundreds of thousands of dollars. But I purposely put myself in the position where I was, out of place, because I was going to lunch with people who were doing deals that were in the hundreds of millions. And it was scary, and I felt like an idiot, but it's how I learned to speak a different language, was being in those lunches.
Oh, yeah.
Even though I felt like a real fraud there, because, and then it started changing my life. He even mentioned, I'm going to keep his name out of it, but he mentioned, hey, to those guys, what they liked about me is I was their goofball rock and roll friend. They were 100 millionaires, and what they liked having me around is they all saw their lives as kind of boring and just being about hundreds of millions of dollars. To them, I was their out of his mind, crazy rock and roll drug friend, even though that's not even who he was. He was still dealing with hundreds of thousands of dollars. But to them, he was the fun guy. And he's like, so in my mind, I thought, well, I don't even deserve to be here. They wanted me around because I could tell stories about, well, do you want to hear about the time that I jumped into the pit from the stage at this show? And they were like, oh my God. Oh, hey, everybody, come on. You got to hear this story. So there's something you can offer to even people that you feel like you're not in their class.
Right.
Yep. So I've learned myself quite a bit, just growing up, starting over on the east side of Austin, and then eventually moving over to the west side, and then attending school or college. And I was in ACC, and most of my friends were in like UT and Southwest Texas and stuff like that. It's all about networking and who you know. And I know people all over the city now, and that has helped me immensely.
That's great.
Grow my career and meet new people and get outside of the blue collar world that I grew up in. I mean, now I'm still kind of in the blue collar world, but I'm headed towards the admin world, so, and it's a great thing, but it's all about who you know. It really is. And I totally agree with you.
Well, good for you, man.
Let us
like
know. Yeah. If you're hiring, if you see the name Fonseca on a resume, do Bob a favor. Do Bob a favor.
Boss,
throw a cookie to a kid, man.
We don't have any immediate.
I'm trying to climb that ladder myself. I appreciate it.
We don't have any immediate
Thanks,
problem.
bro. Thanks.
Appreciate it.
We're doing okay.
Man, I'm going to have to start over, too, thinking about it. Like, once we get Can, whenever, this year, next year, I guess I'm just going to have to go straight to the
I can help you with you. I'll take your LinkedIn photo.
I don't have any money saved either. Like, I'm going to have to hit the ground running, just like.
I worry sometimes that you think I'm a real prick. Well, I am, but for other reasons.
We have two different perspectives as well. And we clash.
And the only reason we clash, though, is that because I want you to see the worth inside of yourself that I see in you.
Okay.
And sometimes you say, well, I guess when I'm done here, I'll go back to waiting tables. And I'm no disrespect to that is a...
No, I'm not going to do that when I'm done. I'm going to do that this week while I'm still here.
Hey, I don't disrespect anybody hustling tables.
I hope not, because I got to show up the next morning.
That's hard work. What I'm saying is, you've done that in your life. You have that experience.
I'll never be above work. I'll never be above manual labor.
I know you weren't. I know you won't be above it. I'm not saying that you look down on it. What I'm saying is, I think that you are a better catch than maybe you see yourself in sometimes.
That could be. But
I think
again, like you said, it's not about how good you are. It's about who you know. And so someone with a lesser talent is going to get the job because of who they know. That's how this society operates.
I agree. I agree. So. But like when we went to the American Women in Media thing.
Yeah.
And there's a guy there that was noted as being one of the heads of essentially like 100 stations.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have any desire to start small talking with him and chatting with him?
I guess not. No, not at all.
But that's a guy for you to know. And you shake his hand, you go, yeah, I happen to be producing on the _1 show. Sometimes I feel like I may have talked out
here's
there.
Here's my card.
And here's my LinkedIn. And say, hey, I would love to have a further conversation about you. What options you might have available in your, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just starting those conversations. Because...
Drew, you didn't give me your LinkedIn address.
And I worry...
I want to link in with you.
I got to update it.
I don't want you to ever think that I'm chasing you off, because this show...
I'm not.
This show will...
Right.
This show's going to take a huge hit if we ever lose you. Okay?
Maybe the final hit.
But
I'm going to take a huge hit.
Here's something. I want more for you in your life than what you're getting here. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Without me...
I want the same things.
Okay.
Thank you, Daddy. Robert.
Hey, fellas. Just letting Matt know that Bob is correct. LinkedIn is a necessary evil these days.
What all do you put on a LinkedIn?
Everything, and it's also education, and it's also gamed. It's also gamified.
Like, do I have to make posts? Do I put posts on LinkedIn?
Yeah, you do. You can you post. And you go, hey, this is what I'm doing today, or this is where I'm interviewing today. And then they have lessons that you can, there's lessons baked into it, and there's all your contacts, and recruiters look at it. Sometimes that's the only thing a recruiter will look at.
Okay.
It's your new resume, and also
your social media.
Yeah, they want to see how big of a footprint you have and things like that.
How many people you know?
I blocked mine. What you were saying about working your way up from the bottom, really did work out for me, from maintenance to outside sales within a few months. But anyway, yes.
Yeah, and it's not like that's something new. Like LinkedIn has been around for what, 10 years?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Maybe more?
It's just a new platform.
But I was on it for the first time in a long time yesterday, working through it with Caden. And I was amazed at it's a whole other, it's like Second Life.
Okay. I'm going to start a LinkedIn.
Thanks, Robert.
And my first post is going to be how to make your own beer bong. That's what I'm going to do.
Well, you might get a recruiter reach out to you.
Really quick, Lucina.
Hey, so I had to call in to back up Chewy a little bit on this.
Yeah.
Maybe give a counterpoint to something that I think Bob had said about not getting that knock at the door, to get that intro.
Right.
I worked in an industry for 6 years, getting horrendously underpaid. Not that I knew that at the time, but
no, that's why they don't want you to share your.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Well, then you got something in common with Chewy.
Don't talk to your other employees about where you're getting paid, right? So, but and then put everything out on not LinkedIn, but Indeed and all that kind of stuff. I applied to other places, and one of the places that I didn't apply to, which was the biggest in Austin, actually did reach out to me because they saw my experience. And I got a job, no questions asked there. Within a year, I'm now a supervisor there. But to kind of back up Chewy, I'm a supervisor here, but I'm still just scraping by. You know what I mean? It's just kind of a sign of what they know they can get away with as far as paying it. It's still manual labor. It's nothing that's, I don't have a desk. I'm in a truck as we speak, but
Mornings with Matt and Bob, powered by Chewy. Thank you for all your calls. You were very creative. You too have a career in radio.
Put us in a good mood, everybody. Thank you.
And then, David, what are we gonna? We're gonna have to curfew that guy or whatever. What do you? I mean, not. We've got to put some restrictions.
Yeah.
Him and Connor.
Look, he's the.
I mean, he's funnier than Connor.
He's the scab inside of my mouth. I got to keep licking. I need it. I know. You want it to go away, but I'm already used to it, and I need it.
We had to get him to open for Sawyer next week at the Comedy Club.
We should, if he wants, we should somehow make him do a 5-minute set or something somewhere. Because these are all.
Wonder what he looks like.
Jokes in a joke book.
Oh, are they? You think?
Go on with your joke book, Mr. Joke.
It worked for Jackie, the joke man.
Most of
How
them.
did he get away with that, Matt? You're in comedy. How did
he didn't get away with it?
Damn, he's talking. Do y'all want an intimate interview with him, or
with
just
who?
leave him be? David's calling in again.
Why is he calling in again?
I have no idea.
Thinks he's. See that this is what happens. They start thinking they're part
My
of the
gut
show.
tells me it's not a gamble we should take right now.
Okay.
Because he just seemed off today.
Yeah.
I mean,
more off than
offer.
usual. Offer.
More off than on is what I feel. Is how I feel. Is what I think. Love, babe, is what I think. We do have giveaways today. I got to let you know about that right now. Austin's Blues Festival, April 27th and 28th. We're going to have giveaway for that in just a little bit. We have one pair of passes for the Austin Blues Festival. That's part of Antone's. It's Antone's Austin's Blues Festival. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
It's really cool. They've expanded it hugely this year. And I believe it's happening down at the that Moody Amphitheater. I know that everything's named Moody right now. It's not the ACL Theater that's over there on 2nd Street. And it's not the Moody Center that's on UT campus. The Moody Amphitheater is in Waterloo Park. It's gorgeous. It's outdoors. But the Blues Festival is going to happen there. They got really good. They've been doing really good advertising for it. Have you seen some of the videos and stuff they made for it?
No, but I want to see who's on the bill.
Antone's coming on strong, yo. We'll have a pair of passes for that coming up here in just a couple minutes. And we also have another opportunity for you to win tickets to go see Greta Van Fleet. And remember this, those are all qualifying tickets. You'll get a pair of tickets to go see the Greta Van Fleet show. But here's the cool part. Everyone who wins a pair of tickets, their name goes into a hat. And then at the end of the week, we draw one of those names, and that person's going to get a special backstage experience. They call it the full backstage experience.
Don't know what that entails yet, but it sounds delightful.
Backstage experience sometimes doesn't mean that you get to meet the band, because it's not the same thing as but it does mean you usually get, like, it's this cool thing. You'll go with a very small VIP group. You get to see, like, the rooms where everyone's hanging out. You get to see where everything gets loaded in. You get to see some of the pyrotechnics and whatever. You get to see the stage. It's a cool experience.
Yeah.
It's a cool thing you get to do.
I'm sure they make it nice.
It makes for a full evening. It makes things a little more fun. I got invited to a show last night. I said no.
What?
Because my body can't. I have noticed that it's very hard for me to go out late anymore because we have to be very early and very long days.
I'm always afraid when I turn down an invitation that the invitations will stop coming. You've got to take it. What was it?
That's FOMO.
Can you say what it was?
It was a show last night of kind of some fun, tongue-in-cheek, easy listening at the Mohawk.
Oh.
But I went out and had a Bad Larry patty melt.
Oh, how was it? I told you they were doing patty melts. Was it good?
It was good. A patty melt's not my favorite sandwich, so I'm going to give it a pretty good. Does that make sense? Because I'm sure it was great, but
I'm going to tell Buddies.
It's just not my favorite. That's why I love Buddies, because they do the Texan melt.
But are you rating it as a sandwich or as a burger? I'm confused.
Oh, good question.
How is it if it doesn't rate as a sandwich, how does it rate as a burger?
Because Bad Larry burgers are pretty damn good. I've had them a few
Here's
times.
how I rate it. I wanted just a burger. And it wasn't just a burger. It was, it's got that goopy Thousand Island on it.
I like when he does those breakfast sandwiches.
I haven't had that yet.
I've gone once and it was worth it.
There was, we talked about it yesterday, right? That list came out of the top restaurants in the city. Another list came out overnight of the top 10 burger joints in Austin. And I'm going to tell you something. I'm not going to read that list because I've become suspicious of something.
Some money's being thrown around places?
I believe that no one is doing any work anymore.
No.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why you're calling out that David guy again.
David Douglas.
I don't know why you're calling out David.
He goes out.
He goes places. I'm going to give him credit where credit is due. He goes to places and he
Now,
eats
they
it.
were places that other influencers have already been, but still.
I don't think anyone is going and doing the work and going and having burgers and taking notes. And really, I think very few people are doing that. I know for a fact that Ali is doing it. Ali Khan.
Yeah, he's legit.
Ali Khan eats. I know that he's going because I've seen he produces the work and he's going and trying places.
I got to take him to take
But this list I saw that came out overnight.
Now I'm looking for it.
I looked at it and I was like, you just listed, literally you named the same 10 people that everyone's going to list. You know what I mean? Like you didn't do the work. They were
You're
good.
just getting
Don't
the
get me
clicks.
wrong. There were some great burgers on there. But I know they didn't do the work because they were missing some of the greatest burgers in the city. While they had some great ones on there, but it's also just like you're not actually going and looking for a great burger.
Was this TripAdvisor?
Do you really gonna make me do that work now
I think
and
this
go
is
find
material.
out who it was?
There's just so many. Like, do we expect...
This came out
Supreme
yesterday.
Court,
Do we expect
community
Ali Khan to go
members.
to, like, a Mexican restaurant and try
Yes.
the Mexican restaurant burger too?
If you're going to say here are the best burgers, then you better have had all of the burgers. Or at least asked around. Don't just say, oh, I looked online and people were talking nicely about these places, so I'm going to list them.
It's hard to argue with your logic. Yeah, you're right. But at the same time, it's not feasible. There's just too many places. It would take like 3 years, 2 years to really, really assess it.
For one person.
But I might not trust another critic. I don't know. People have different taste buds.
Here's the thing. The three of us, we recruit 10 other people. And then we all say, we're going to take this area of town and eat some burgers. And we all have 3 weeks to eat as many as we can.
I would like
then
to
we
be
come
five
back
of
and
these
I say, who are your top 3? Because you're going to be able to throw some trash out, right?
Yeah.
There's going to be some people who just made hot trash. No good. They're going to be people. When some people make the smash burger, but they don't actually smash it enough, or they don't let it get the crispy on it.
I need to try Freddy's again.
You know that there's some places that slap more than others, and those are the places that you bring and you go, okay, now let's all try these things. Let's break this up. Try some more of these.
I swear I've had about 3 people ask me for my list of like must tries, and I feel like I should be getting paid because I made up a whole list for some of these people and told them what to get.
Well, 2 people in this room have already told you should be getting paid, and you need to, but you got to do the work on it.
Oh boy, I've been doing the work.
We got to do the posts.
I'm trying to undo the work right now in the gym. That's what I'm doing.
How's that going?
Ugh. I'm actually feeling so great. Like, I think the best way, if you've completely lost it, you're fat as hell, and you've lost all of your muscle, your athleticism, and you know, edge. You got to start lifting. Eat whatever you want, of course, and then when it's time to buckle up, you don't need any pre-workout. You don't need any C4 or anything. Ask your crush out. When she rejects you, you got at least 3 months of like some hardcore. I mean, I'm putting plates up on the squat rack, okay? So I think that's key. And now I'm like, now that I'm doing great in the gym, it makes me want to diet. That's what all this turkey patties are for and egg whites and all of it. So now, but I still want to go eat a taco.
Oh, I thought all that was to disgust us.
No.
Because every time I see you, Chewy brings in, for some reason, he brings in Tupperware the size of his body. And then inside of it, he'll have one tiny turkey patty down there. I don't understand. Are you out of small? Do you not have small Tupperware?
I brought a Tupperware that was like big to small, and I run out of the small one, so I got to use the big one.
That big one was full yesterday. He had.
I didn't eat all the potatoes. And it wasn't that one. It was a slightly smaller one.
Was it?
It's still sitting on my counter right now.
Or are you just bigger?
Son of a bitch. I'll put David on the line
now. Somebody on the line? Oh, no, you hung up on him?
I wish you could find that list, man.
Breaking news just coming out. Someone is alleging that the Rainy Street Killer has confessed.
What?
Asterisk. Let's pay some bills, and then I'm going to tell you it. We got some input, some burger input.
Can
Somebody
you
just
just
called it.
get to the serial killer news? Like,
don't
what
even
am I
know where
supposed to
he
do?
got
I'm
this
scared.
From the always reliable dailymail.com.
UK?
They know about Austin.
The UK's
What?
Daily Mail, which is their version of USA Today.
Wait, we're making headlines in UK?
Did they put together a top 10 burger list too?
A bartender on Austin's famous entertainment strip, Rainy Street, has claimed that a patron told him he was the rumored Rainy Street Ripper, quote, killing homos, sorry, that's in the article, in a nearby waterway. Locals have for years feared a serial killer was on the loose as dozens of bodies have been pulled from the Colorado River and Lady Bird Lake nearby. They're the same thing, Daily Mail. The same thing. 2 more were found in the past 2 weeks, both of which are not yet identified, but like all but one, were ruled not suspicious by the police. Police insist there is no killer at large, but rumors of a Rainy Street Ripper have continued to swirl as the bodies pile up. One unnamed bartender believes that the supposed killer, or somebody falsely claiming to be the killer, confessed to the crime while knocking back beers last month.
And so did they hear something, say something?
No.
Or they just contact the Daily Mail? They didn't contact the local authorities?
No, somebody wrote on social media
Oh.
that a regular customer of theirs suddenly started talking about killing people that he found on Rainy. He was clearly angry and saying it in a low voice, but I know what I heard. Do people lie about these things? According to the bartender, a patron was described as a man in his 40s, about 5'10", with a muscular build, brownish light hair, and facial hair, which he acknowledged describes a lot of people. Yes, it does, doesn't it? The bartender called Austin police and left a voicemail on a homicide tip line, which they said was never followed up on.
Oh, my God.
I can't find that article in the Mail. What tab is it under? Showbiz?
Entertainment.
Female?
The bartender says that the bar management also appeared uninterested in looking into the incident any further. Can you believe that? Nobody. It's a plot. Nobody wants to catch the Rainy Street Ripper.
I don't think.
Is that what?
Does any of this make you think that that's what's going on?
No, anybody can go on the internet and under a false handle post whatever they want to on Reddit. They can. They can post stuff like, hey, I'm a bartender at an unnamed bar and I don't want to share my name.
Unnamed bartender, yeah.
However, I heard somebody admit to being the Rainy Street Ripper. Now I get all these likes and all this needed attention that I need because my mom won't return my phone calls. So I get a lot of attention online and I feel really good. Meanwhile, there are families who are actually pretty sad about their loved one who appears to have passed away. And I build up this crap and it's silly. The Daily Mail is covering it and nobody else is covering it because it's not a news story. You can't tie it to anyone. You don't have anybody to confirm what they're saying. You just have somebody online saying, oh, yeah, I heard the killer in my bar the other day. So clearly, must be a serial killer because I heard the guy say it in the bar.
So I wonder what's really going on. People keep on dying, right? People keep on.
Well, people do keep dying. Yeah, they die every day.
Well, I mean, in a certain area and in the same kind of person.
I could say
in the same manner.
There are people. No. You have to really do some backbends to say that these are similar people.
Oh, okay.
They don't look the same. They don't act the same. They weren't on 6th Street or on Rainy Street for the same reasons.
Are there any other areas where people go to die or get murdered in that same fashion? That way we can ease people's minds that there's nothing crazy going on. This happens all the time. Part of nature.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Are you asking if there are other giant drinking areas on water? I mean, there are. There's
Does it happen at Hula Hut?
Miami.
Hula Hut has a lot of deaths.
No, but we have multiple deaths every year on Lake Travis.
Well, yeah, those drunk people in boats. That's going to happen. There's no boats.
Okay. Drunk people getting in the water.
What other places are on the water that don't have a bunch of deaths around it?
What other places are on the water?
Yeah, restaurants, bars. Here in Austin. There's some right there on Town Lake, right?
Could you say that there are explanations for these deaths other than a serial killer?
Sure, but are we not trying to find that commonality to stop it?
Not really. Who's investigating?
Or are we just like,
who's
well, I don't
investigating it? I mean,
well, we don't have any of that answer. None of the three of us or anybody on Reddit is working for the police department or homicide investigation. We know that homicide investigation has said we don't see a connection in these. And they probably know more of the features and more of the information found at the scene, right?
Are they staffed up? Do they have a lot of staff? Like, I know all industries are suffering. The homicide department and detectives.
What do you think? They're down to just like 3 14-year-olds that are working homicide?
A couple of dudes and be like, bro, we got it. We're stacked up. We got a lot of stuff to do.
We don't got time for this right now.
I'm sorry. I know that's funny, but I think
getting
that
my
happens.
feet wet.
I think that happens with police. I think that happens with a lot of different things. I don't know. I guess if you don't go down there, then you don't die. So that's the best way to avoid it.
I will say this. I have not been to Rainey, and I have not
you're
died.
living.
Yeah.
So stop going down there.
But now, here's the thing. If I had that stroke, and that stroke, if I did have the stroke, but if the stroke had killed me, would you have thought maybe that had something to do with the Rainey Street Ripper?
If you were down there?
He would have been a person of interest for sure.
No, what if I had it right here? Why couldn't we just say, well, I'm a white male, and a lot of these were white males, so clearly there's something going on here, right?
We could have said
his MO isn't stroke. It's
right. It's
over
stabby.
by the water.
Yeah.
Drowned. So
I think Daily Mail got it right.
Look at this timing. Do you want to phone her with Alicia Dennis from People Magazine? She's promoting the new investigation discovery show, People Magazine Investigates Surviving a Serial Killer. Remember we talked to her last time?
Yeah.
Bum, bum, bum.
maybe she can tell us how to survive this one.
Well, don't go where the serial killer is.
But it's so hard. There's so many delicious places.
They still got bangers down there?
Bangers, NADC. There's that
Van Zandt Hotel.
Waffle place, the donut hole place. What else?
We talking about to eat?
Yeah, Bad Larry's.
Hasn't Rainey? No, they're not there because Rainey has gone under all construction. It just seems like it has killed most of the. It's made it very difficult for a lot of the bars to survive down there, right?
But that other bar is there that he also owns, right?
He's had to shut it down because of construction.
Damn. Rainey Street Killer again.
I do think that Rainey Street won't come back from the construction the same way. I think it may come back, but it won't come back the same way. Now,
we got a movie plot that the Rainey Street Killer is some kind of big real estate developer dude. Or dudette.
Ooh.
That wants to change.
That wants to buy all the
like
bar
Roadhouse.
areas. Yeah, it is like Roadhouse,
you know?
And he
Is
wants
that
the
what
property
happened?
value
Yeah.
low.
Well, he wants to build high rise. He wants to get rid of some of these one-story.
Hey, the guy that owns Continental Cars, Mercedes-Benz Austin, right?
Oh.
He got caught burning down a building, right? Because he wanted to develop it. How do we know? I'm making jokes here and being facetious. Don't sue us.
But not,
How do we know that maybe there's not a car dealership owner who's decided they want to develop? That maybe they want to put a car dealership on Rainey.
We're just asking questions.
Just asking
people.
questions. Folks, we're just asking the important questions here. You got to do your research. You got to do your research, people.
I don't know. I don't think we ever find out what's going on, and then they kind of stop, and the killer moves to like Minnesota or something.
He may already be there.
Yeah, could be.
We don't even know.
I don't know.
Maybe he can't afford to live here anymore.
I don't know. It has. Well, I guess it's all under construction. I haven't been to Rainey in a while. Maybe I'll go today and see what's popping.
I don't know exactly what's going on, to be honest with you. I don't go to Rainey.
Why are we talking in such a low voice
Because
right
we're
now?
talking about murder, Bob. The Daily Mail says that we have a serial killer loose on the streets of Austin, or at least one of the streets. Loose on the street of Austin.
I just know when we talk about it, that Facebook group's going to go crazy again. Because anytime somebody mentions it in the daytime TV or an article, Rainy Street Killer, there's a guy named David calls into our show. And he wants to tell you some jokes.
Is he still calling?
Do us a solid. Oh, David. David, we're not going to talk to you today, man. We talked to you already. One call a day. One call a day. That's my story on that.
Well, thanks for digging it up. I've been on Daily Mail for a half hour now. I can't find that story.
Find it?
Because there's hundreds of them in one day. You got to scroll up and down. I don't know how the Daily Mail, I know how they stay in business, but they're headlines. But
Well, do you want to talk about something else? Rob Report is featuring Austin. A 4-bedroom home in Highland Park neighborhood built in 1958 by the acclaimed architect W.R. Coleman.
Oh, he's the best.
It's on the market right now for $12.5 million.
not bad.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's up for sale for $4.2 million. So that's easy. You can grab that.
That's a steal.
4.2, dude.
You invest in it, and I'll live in it. Take care of it for you.
All right.
How do we get to a place? What's the thing that we can do? Oh, I'm going to bring this up.
Okay.
Do you know the other day when we talked about what is Austin missing? We talked about things that are Austin missing. By the way, 512-834-0937. Get that number ready because we're getting ready to give away some tickets.
It's about time.
We talked about things that Austin was missing, and we got really deep into food, right? Mm-hmm. And we talked about all the food stuff. CJ and I continued the conversation yesterday afternoon, and I came up with something that we were missing.
Bob, you cool with that? You approve of that?
Yeah, I don't. Listen, there's no new ideas. Okay. I'm sure we ripped it off from Johnson and Floor Wax out in Topeka.
Here's the thing that we're missing that none of us discussed, but we're missing it. We don't have roller coasters in the city.
No, what happened to the Coda roller coaster park that they were going to build?
There's a carnival sometimes that comes through, but it's not like.
I'm talking about like a Texas cyclone that Houston had at Astro World.
Do you not remember the news 2 years ago?
That they were going to build
that were going to build a roller coaster centric,
right?
Like with several roller coasters, right there where the rugby field was,
right?
The soccer field.
Yeah. Well, Tesla also said they were going to come out with a Tesla Model whatever 2.
Right.
There's a lot of things that we were promised here in Austin that aren't happening.
I don't know. Six Flags or something? Is that what you want? We have the biggest water park.
I don't want a whole Six Flags. That's too much of a pain in the ass to pay $120 for a ticket and spend a whole day there. I want like the Wisconsin Dells has, where in Wisconsin in the Dells, it's mom and pops. So there's one water slide, and you pay $2 to go on and you ride that water slide. Then you leave and you go next door to another mom and pop who own one merry-go-round. And then you go next door, and they have one roller. I want one roller coaster here in the city. If you want to go there with friends, you can buy a punch card for $25. You can ride it 3 times.
Yeah, but I want a candy apple too, or something.
Well,
see food again.
Straight to the food.
Well, if there's a roller coaster, you expect certain things.
But a candy apple?
You go see a movie, the concession stand isn't open. I can't have a popcorn?
No kid has ever actually wanted a candy apple. They look at it and think they want it, and then they take one bite and they go,
one
this
bite,
is terrible.
You're done. You throw it away.
They don't know.
You're the kind of kid who actually ate the candy apple?
Oh, they're so good.
And your teeth are all sticky. And
not the caramel, the candied one.
I don't even know the distinction.
God, can you imagine him as a little kid with this little smile and just like face covered in that red stuff all over his lips?
Oh, they used to when they would take it when we would go to Sirloin Stockade. They knew how happy I was.
No, it just got sad.
They were like,
no,
man,
it just got.
Looks like
it just got really sad.
Someone's happy.
Did you keep going back to the pudding fountain over and over again?
It was a special occasion.
Did you get the?
I always got the same when I was a kid. Pizza,
the sirloin tips,
pizza, mashed potatoes, and mac and cheese. 4 plates of those.
It just got sadder. The story gets sadder and sadder. It's almost like I wish David was calling.
It does get really sad.
I thought it was a nice story.
And I don't understand the distinction between. I thought candy apples were caramel apples.
No, that's a caramel apple. Candied apple has that red candy coating on it,
which would be what in real life?
Caro syrup and sugar.
You've got so much life to live, Bo. You've got so much life to live.
I'm gonna be a hard pass on the candied apple. Caramel apple, I might eat the caramel off and throw the apple away.
Yeah,
come on,
you might. Or the people who got smart were the ones who started selling you apple slices with caramel sauce on the side where you could just dip it. Yeah,
that's neat.
Now I can eat
handy.
That. But giving me on the candy apple stick.
Carnival. Hey, look at that guy having fun at the carnival.
Why do they
taking a dip and a?
I feel like they have to put it on a stick.
It's got to be on a stick.
I don't like foods that make a mess. I never liked cotton candy if it came on that little
cone, that paper cone.
Paper cone? No. If it was in the bag, that's fine. I can grab in there. But I don't want to stick my face into a big muff like that. Ladies.
Funnel cakes are tough to eat. Delicious. The toughest foods to eat are the most delicious.
Like a young lady from Horseshoe Bay.
Extra tough, extra good.
Right there, baby, right there. That's where Mama likes it, right there.
I-
Put a
I-
finger. Give me a finger, too,
really
sweetheart. Come on.
needed this.
Oh,
I
my
really
God, this
needed
is
this.
nice.
Thank you.
Oh, my God. I
Thank
haven't had a
you.
night like this in my 22 years of life.
Go ahead and take all the change on the counter there. You can have that.
You can have that, Mama. Said you
And
can
my
have that.
green stamps. You take all them books.
Will you do me a favor? Will you bring me that metal file over there? I got to get rid of this. I got a toenail that is just going to crazy. I thought I was going to cut myself when I folded my toes like that.
Do you know my TV has free channels on it? Did you know that? You get all kinds of.
Some of them are in Spanish, but you know what I mean. Just because I can't understand them doesn't mean I can't look at them. Anyway, if I write you a note, will you go down the street and get me some cigarettes?
What were we talking about before that?
And scene. And scene.
Candy apples.
And before that, it was roller coasters.
It was. We need more
I
than
don't know
one.
what
You can't
Dakota-
have one roller coaster. It's not Neverland with
I think
Michael
they were
Jackson.
talking about building
Why not?
6
That's what I'm
out
saying.
there.
I'm saying I want one roller coaster. We roll up to it real quick.
I'm not going to pay to go in for one roller coaster. I'm just not.
It's one thrilling ride. It's exciting. Then you get in the car and you go and do something. It's just like a little tiny fun experience. Why do you have to maximize everything?
Because it feels like I'm getting an escort or something.
Look, if you
and
and
it's
I-
a quick 15-minute go,
Yeah.
and then I'm out, and
You and I are on the
fixing my
town.
tie.
We're going to get burgers. I say, hey, look, you want to ride that coaster real quick?
Wait, they say it's under construction.
Oh,
Crews
well-
are making progress on a new amusement park being built at the Circuit of Americas.
You don't see it out
This
there?
was written last July. Code officials haven't provided an update timeline for when the park will be done. They've got a roller coaster called the let me see, what's it called? The Palindrome?
I got a roller coaster.
You must be this tall to ride.
Yeah, you got to be.
It's the first Gertzlauer, I can't even pronounce this, Gertzlauer infinity coaster of its kind in the U.S.
You're going to want to, you can hold your hands up in the air if you want to. It's kind of scary, but it's slippery when wet, if you know what I'm saying.
So we are getting a roller coaster.
Hey, let's go ahead and do this in a hurry because I got a judge show I want to watch. Or do you mind if I watch it while you're doing your business?
Do you want to buy the picture I took while you were mid-ride?
Says they got all the parts out there laying in the field.
I would love for us to all go on whatever log ride or whatever thing to take a picture. Let's go take a roller coaster picture.
I do something called a log ride. Hey, don't worry about it. If you get your clothes dirty, you can have some of my husband's. He died in a fire.
I started it.
I forgot. I fell asleep while I was smoking. Burned him to a crisp. I'm fine though, except for this side of my body. But just don't look at that side. Roll me to one side, honey. Roll me to one side. Get it in there. Yeah.
We call it hot side hot, cold side cold.
Cold. Where just like the McDLT.
Look, there's all the parts to the roller coaster.
Mommy, what are they talking about on the radio right now? We're talking about the joy of life is what we're talking about.
That's their mother. When is it? When is it complete? Set to be complete.
I don't know. I can't find an article past last July, but here's a picture
Of all the parts.
of all the parts that's out of Coda.
I mean, I got to assemble it myself.
I guess so. We can't
If
find...
you want to ride it.
Well, nobody wants to work anymore.
No,
Can't get anybody
mhm.
out here wants to build a roller coaster. Nobody wants to. Coda Land.
Sawyer and I will put that together for $50.
Coda Land opening date is scheduled to officially open in 2025. After much silence,
better
a
get on it.
long-awaited update about Coda Land was issued, and they're saying we're going to open it, Coda Land, in 2025. The Coda Land Screamscape.
Anything in that article about candied apples?
It goes without saying. You don't have to type that out.
You
it's
want
there.
it? You can candy my apple if you want to, sweetheart. It is that. Oh, that's not caramel. That's something else. That's discharge.
Come on, man. We're better than this.
No.
Do you mind if I have somebody else watch in the room? Not sexually. I had a kid down the street. I tutor her, and she needs some help with her math.
You mind if I put some music on, honey?
Hey, if you would like to go to see Greta Van Fleet and get registered for a backstage experience, I do something called a backstage experience. If you'd like to go to Greta Van Fleet, give us a call right now, 512-834-0937. 512-834-0937. And one lucky winner is going to win a pair of tickets and get registered for the backstage experience.
Sugar, you like this song?
Oh, this one's romantic. This one's romantic.
Takes you back.
This one's called Lights. That's something I haven't been able to keep on for a while, but could you loan me some money?